Hannah Montana is new in November on Disney Channel.
I've been waiting 10 years to specifically seek out to do a third season Hannah Montana retrospective. Yeah, I know you don't believe me because I'm lying. Hannah Montana Season 3 is the absolute peak of the series for me. I just remember playing my Hannah Montana purple PSP when it came out. It came out with a really crappy Hannah Montana Guitar Hero-like video game with the new songs, and 2 episodes from Season 3, Don't Go Breaking My Tooth and Welcome to the Bungle, and I was so happy to be watching that on the go. But there is so much more to Hannah Montana Season 3 than you would originally imagine. Not only is there character development, relationship escalations, but this is the season where the Hannah Montana movie takes place, and that, for me, is the ultimate form of Hannah Montana media. So we're gonna kind of use that as our centerpiece when we're going over the season. The first half is going to focus on everything leading up to the movie, because the movie supposedly happens after episode 12. So we're gonna dive into how Hannah Montana has changed since the second season, where it's about to go with the movie, and so much more. Disney Channel is doing such a good job at developing this franchise in a way that's not super cheesy. They still have enough references to what's about to happen, to what happened before, and we got some great surprises on the way. Last time I split up my Season 2 retrospective into 3 parts because it was just so heavy and so much to cover, but this time I'm really excited to do Season 3. I'm just gonna split it into 2. So we're gonna cover the first 12 episodes now. So the first episode we have for Season 3 is He Ain't A Hottie, He's My Brother, which is referring to the song He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. And noticeable differences are Miley's bangs. So Miley has a dream that Lily and Jackson have feelings for one another. When she wakes up in a cold sweat, she realizes that she just needs to stop eating pork rinds before bed. The next day, Lily comes over, and when Miley tells her about the dream, she's not that shocked. If anything, she's like, oh, I never noticed him before.
I kinda like him.
Jackson Love and freaking nature say what?
The opening title sequence is completely different. It's like a marquee in Times Square, which is awesome because they're using the version of Best of Both Worlds that was featured in the Hannah Montana movie, but we'll get onto that later. Miley is disgusted at the thing she just might have brought on by herself and keeps acting like she's throwing up. Then suddenly they're going throughout the house and see Jackson, and Lily has a completely different perspective. And I never saw their hallway before. This is kind of cool looking. I definitely see it being in the beach house. But of course Jackson is so disgusting, and I don't know how you'd be in love with anybody after seeing their room the way she did. Miley talks to Oliver about the whole situation.
Can you tell the sun not to rise in the morning? I mean, can you tell a wave not to crash on the shore?
You been watching soap operas again?
No, it's my grandma came in town. She's visiting.
I don't know why Oliver's hair is still like this. Like, you could have at least fixed it a little bit. I mean, at least it's not as long. Miley accidentally spills it to her dad, Robbie Wright, who thinks it's really cute, and she is offended that he thinks that. And he's working on Supergirl in this episode, and being the first episode of Season 3, I'm excited to hear the new album, because this is my favorite.
What's so weird about Lily liking your brother?
Does Puppy Piddle stain?
Asked and answered.
So Miley ends up telling Jackson the situation, and instead of shutting it down like she kind of hopes he would, he seems just as interested in her.
I don't think about Lily that way.
Great. I'll go tell her.
Huh.
Huh? What?
I'm starting to think about Lily that way.
No! No. Wrong way. Go back. Back. Beep, beep, beep.
Miley goes to Lily, where Lily's expecting to see that they're going to be together. She has this really gross fantasy about them eating big burgers on the couch, and I don't want to see this happen. She tells Lily that he rejected her, and she is immediately distraught. Oh, Miley, why do you always lie to people? Miley lies a lot. She runs off depressed, and Jackson comes down looking to talk to Lily. That's when Oliver realizes exactly what Miley did, and Miley has to keep him quiet about it, so she keeps pulling his hair. That is harassment, Miley.
You just told her that. Ow! Why do you keep doing that?
That was the other end. Because it was split. You see.
So now she just made 2 people really unhappy, and Oliver makes her feel really guilty about it. Later, Miley's going to be on a talk show, and it's about her friends, and they come onto the show with her. Mike Stanley, Lola and Jackson, which I guess they know each other in the public eye from dating, which is kind of weird. Miley notices that during the talk show, Lily and Jackson are actually getting into arguments about the rejection.
Laughable.
Wait,
And we'll be right back.
And Miley calls for a commercial break, which causes an issue. But really, Miley's just worried they're gonna talk to each other and figure out that they both liked each other. As both of them start talking about why they love Miley as a friend, they say because she's honest and caring, and Oliver obviously leans into this. And she finally admits that she lied, and they both liked each other, and they're excited and take her off the talk show. Later, she talks to the two about how it's okay if they really want to date, and they're excited and start dating. And since this is the first episode of the 3rd season, I'm really convinced this is about to happen. If anything, I'm terrified. Like, of course, a big character-changing thing would happen right at the beginning of the new season as we get ready for more relationships. And while there is going to be a relationship inevitably happening, it's not between Lily and Jackson. In the end, Miley wakes up again the next day, and it turns out that other day didn't even happen. She asks Lily if she would ever like Jackson, and she makes the throw up face, which is exactly what Miley had hoped. Okay, so we were just pranked by the entire writer's room of Hannah Montana with this episode. It was really funny and really good, though, and I'm so happy I got to watch it.
Football, monster trucks, things explode, boom, man things.
I am excited to see how the other relationship pans out later in this season, but let's stay tuned. So season 3, episode 2, Ready, Set, Don't Drive. The title is a parody of Billy Ray Cyrus's Ready, Set, Don't Go. So we know this is going to be a Miley and Billy episode. Robbie Ray and Miley are driving to her driving test. She's really nervous and he says not to worry. But when the guy gets in, he turns out to be gross, smells, eats in the car. It's all disgusting.
And close the window, I'm fighting the cold.
But the smell.
Doesn't bother me, thanks for asking.
Miley even gets to the point where she's so grossed out that she tells him to get out of the car. Miley, come on. There's no way she didn't fail that test. She's upset when she comes to the beach to find Oliver celebrating her getting her license with a giant Miley flag. It turns out that she didn't actually get it, and this is really awkward for nothing. Miley gives a quick speech about why she thinks that this is overrated, even though she quote-unquote got her license.
I personally think is overrated, and it hurts our planet. And not driving, now that takes some courage. I don't think I'm gonna drive today or tomorrow. That's how strongly I feel.
Amber and Ashley come to the beach, bragging that Amber just got her license, and it's nice to see these girls again, especially since we're doing another season. It's nice to remember your roots. Oliver and Lily challenge Amber by saying that Miley got her license first, actually. Miley does not want to back down, so she engages in the trash talk. She insists that she did not fail, and Amber says that, okay, show up to my party then, driving.
Is there a problem?
No. Yes.
Oh boy.
I wonder if she liked my rap.
This doesn't have to do with being a pop star anymore. This is legal. Miley tries to talk Robbie into taking the test again, but that's not really how that works. Meanwhile, Rico is staying at the Stewart's house. Turns out that they gave Robbie Ray Laker tickets in order to have him stay there. And he's already gross. I don't know how Jackson is going to be turned off by this grossness, especially if he's worse. Meanwhile, Miley goes to the DMV to approach the lady, and I love how they paint them as like kind of like villains or scary and snarky, because that's kind of how they are at government jobs. She realizes that she cannot get her test moved up under no exception, so she has to pull a little Hannah action. She comes back in dressed as Hannah Montana with Lola and bribes the lady with concert tickets.
How refreshing is that? Standing in line, waiting your turn. She's just a regular...
Why are you talking?
I don't know.
It seems like she's about to help Hannah with the tickets, so she gets her license. Robbie goes out for a little bit, and Jackson is terrified at being alone with Rico. This is crazy. Their boundaries are so terrible. Like, Rico is his boss, and then also staying at his house. Like, what the heck, guys? Miley is super excited for the party, as she has her license now and she's driving down the road. Only one problem. The cop pulls her over, checks her ID, and it turns out it is not Miley, it is Hannah.
Is there a problem, officer? Diarrhea?
Did you give a birth certificate for Hannah Montana? Like, the stuff you need to get a license for the state of California is definitely, like, she would have to have a separate social security number. Like, this doesn't make any sense. So the cop throws her in jail, which I don't think would happen. She begs to get released, saying that she actually is Hannah Montana, and making it this big deal like she's finally revealing her secret, but really she just needs to get out of jail, so it looks even more sus. Jackson's on a date with a girl, which is the stupidest idea while Rico's living with him. Like, it's gross, and she even walks out.
I'm sorry. You're just not worth it.
Wait, no! I'm not clammed here!
Then we go back to Miley in prison, and she gets beat up. No, I'm just kidding. She's the only one in this prison for some reason. The cop calls Robbie's house, saying that they found Hannah Montana, and to confirm that she is also Miley.
Yes, of course. She lives here with me and my wife, Shakira. Now crank somebody else. You're killing Rico's beauty buzz.
The cop says that they'll have a detective come in and talk to her to determine if she really is Hannah, and I'm already excited. This is a really fun plot. I like that it started out to be about Miley, but transferred into a Hannah Montana problem. Like, this is so funny. The cop says that if they could convince this little girl, this 12-year-old girl, his daughter, that she's Hannah Montana because she's the biggest Hannah fan, then he will let her go. Not sure what law that is that says that's okay, but sure.
December 19th, 2007, Hannah performed where?
Hartford Civic Center.
What did she open with?
Rockstar.
Closed with?
Best of both worlds. 10 minutes standing ovation, baby.
So this girl comes in strong, aggressive, and asks her really specific questions about Hannah. Like, I don't even know if I would know the answers to this if they asked me. Later, Rico is depressed because Jackson doesn't want him there. So he's on the phone, and Jackson actually feels bad until he picks it up and verbally assaults the other person.
Want to come over for a game of hide and seek? I'll let you find me, my sweet little churro. Oh no!
And it turns out to be Rico's actual parents. It's really awkward, but it turned out to be all a part of Rico's plan anyway. After Miley is going crazy from answering all these questions, like she is losing her mind, the little girl finally determines that nope, this could not be Hannah Montana. She is not answering the questions correctly. Later, as she's about to exit, Miley starts singing. And this is the first time I think Miley has, as herself, sung. Like, it's really cool to hear Hannah Montana's voice coming out of her. I remember as a child, I was definitely really confused if these were the same people or if Miley and Hannah were different actors playing different parts. Like, I remember being so confused. But hearing this happen is actually like a really nice moment. Like, I like that this season is becoming more about Miley needing to be herself more than Hannah in order to solve a situation. Robbie finally comes up to the jailhouse, and so it didn't really matter that she proved that she wasn't Hannah. She is grounded for a long time. And worse, Robbie decides to still drive by Amber and Ashley's party and announce over a megaphone that she did not get her license.
It's Miley Stewart's daddy dropping her off at the party because she didn't get her license.
Ugh, payback stinks. But yeah, in the end, episode number 2. So the next episode is episode 3, Don't Go Breaking My Tooth. A parody on the title, Don't Go Breaking My Heart. We meet this culinary expert on this cooking show. Robbie and Miley are watching from the living room as Robbie critiques Miley on her dental care.
I love our relationship. You pretend you don't kiss boys, and I pretend I believe you.
When Miley's trying to get something out of her mouth, she uses a fork. And ow, Miley, that hurts. And then it ends up knocking one of her teeth out. And it's kind of gross because it's on Jackson's nose. So we have a dental episode coming in. Robbie's on the phone with the dental people as Miley is in so much pain. Robbie's concerned because he wants to take her to the dentist but can't. And Miley is essentially like, don't worry about it. Like, I can go to the dentist on my own. I'm old enough.
Perform in front of thousands of people without him. I can sure as heck go to the dentist without that.
Robbie says they both know how scared she gets at the dentist. Meanwhile, Lily is laughing at Oliver and Joni. Remember Oliver and Joni? Yeah, they're dating. I forgot about that for a little bit. But apparently she's a vegetarian and Oliver has willingly given up meat. Turns out that he really doesn't want to and is just putting on a facade for her. Rico hears about this and is really excited to mess with him about it. He even starts a whole barbecue at the beach just to prove a point. And Oliver is like melting, like he cannot handle it.
It's the promised land.
So then Miley and Jackson are at the dentist together. Jackson is making fun of the other kids, which is not really nice, and Miley finds out that her usual dentist isn't in, and she's gonna have somebody else instead.
Do you want me to call your daddy?
so she's even more determined to go through with this. So as she's in with the new dentist, he's a little bit more aggressive, not super friendly, and doesn't understand that she is terrified already. She tries to talk her way out of getting the whole treatment done, and he gets more and more frustrated. She even...
Here we go. Perfect.
Puts funny kitty ears on it. I mean, I like that this dentist is actually trying. That's very sweet. She fantasizes that he pulls out a huge needle, which isn't actually the reality, and she just runs out terrified. Now she's at her home, still in pain because she couldn't go through with the dentist, and Lily is like, you cannot keep this from your dad, which you can't. This is such a bad pain. As somebody with tooth pain in the past, like, it hurts so bad.
And Dad'll never know.
It also sucks because Jackson knows that she didn't go through with it, so it's everybody but Robbie who Miley has to keep the secret from. And you know how funny it is when Miley has to keep a secret from Robbie. It is really funny. I mean, it also was the last episode, so I feel like this plot happens a lot. Turns out that Robbie actually got Hannah Montana tickets on this cooking show that they saw earlier. Miley's excited but nervous, and even Lily has a bad feeling about it.
Yay, Miley! Yay, me!
We cut back to Oliver, who is waking up in a trance covered in meat. It turns out that he relapsed last night and had too much meat. Joni is running around looking for him, and Rico is stalling, but he's not really any help.
Must have been a pack of wild dogs. I'm guessing 10, 9, 8.
Oliver tries to sneak away, but he's caught in the box by Rico.
Oliver?
Oliver no está en casa.
He comes clean to Joni, saying that he really does love meat, and she's understanding because he was honest with her. This is already a pretty dysfunctional relationship, it feels like. We finally get to the cooking show. Lily reminds her to be really careful with her tooth, and while doing her makeup even hurts her more. Oh, poor Miley, I empathize with her so much. She tries to use any excuse to get out of it, but everybody pushes her too. This is not cool. Hannah Montana is brought on stage. As she's on the show, she tries the dish and everything turns out okay, so she can get off the channel and everything's good. But he stops her and says he made her a surprise treat.
Because I have made you a very special treat. And here it is.
Peanut brittle. Yeah, like one of the crunchiest, hardest candies of all. Jackson is laughing so hard. She tries to excuse it by eating the other dessert, but the cook pushes and pushes so hard.
I'm not done.
Yes, you are.
No, I am
yes,
not.
You are.
Let loose of my moose.
Until the dessert falls onto Jackson, which is a funny and unnecessary plot point. Miley eventually does try the peanut brittle, and her screams are heard from throughout Earth. Finally, she's back at the dentist as Miley with a fish on her face, and Robbie is finally with her. So all of this to avoid slight humiliation is depressing. Robbie says it's okay to accept the fact that there's some things she's not ready to grow up out of, and this is a good lesson.
I totally destroyed your shields, Jeremy.
Did not.
Did too.
Did not.
Did too. Dad!
And we see Jackson arguing with a toddler just to show that this is really true. Overall, this is a really fun episode because Miley is struggling to accept her adult responsibilities that aren't on her own terms, and we'll see that in the next couple episodes. Like, she's given more responsible scenarios and keeps buckling down and refuses to change, ending in more issues. And I like that in these past couple episodes, it starts out as Miley's problem but becomes Hannah's problem, and Hannah Montana is the one who ends up having to get out of it, even though they're not, separate people. But yeah, we see a lot of similarities in next episode, You Never Give Me My Money, a parody of You Never Give Me Your Money by the Beatles. So Miley, Lily, and Oliver enter the beach to find that Rico's is under a giant tent. When it's taken off, it turns out Rico is having a huge empanada party. Rico's outfit is really nice and his dance is fun too. Apparently they're so good that Miley could kiss Rico, but doesn't. She puts $1 in his lips. This makes Miley realize she wished she had a lot more money and that maybe she should ask her dad for a raise.
No deal is a match for the puppy dog face. Watch.
Please, Daddy.
As she goes home to do so, Jackson is already asking for an expanded curfew, in which Robbie rejects like cold hard. This already is a sequel to the episode Det It Be. Remember from season 1, it's where Miley got that credit card and then accidentally overspent, but then learned her lesson at the end? Yeah, I bet this is gonna be an exact replica. Miley is upset because she has to wait for her next allowance in order to go somewhere, do the movies, anything, and I really relate to this scene. like being able to pay for things and hang out with friends, but like the money's tight, that's really frustrating. I get it, Miley.
I so need more guy friends.
Miley finally goes in to ask him, with Jackson still trying to sell Robbie on his curfew thing, but Miley just comes right out and says it like she wants a raise in her allowance. But instead, Robbie flips it on her and says that he's going to give her...
How's $5,000 sound?
Daddy, whose wallet's even tighter than his jeans, say what?
And that she's old enough and mature enough. And as he's doing this, Lily and Oliver are celebrating in the background because of course your friends are happy for you for such a big win. Later, Jackson tries to use the guilt trip on Robbie by almost crying.
Anything for my favorite. That hurts. Bad. It's why I stopped growing. You need love to grow.
And Robbie says that, okay, since he's responsible, he'll let him go out past curfew as long as he has his phone on him. And then Jackson says yes, he's excited, and then realizes he doesn't have his phone on him. He tries to hide it from Robbie, who immediately notices it in the egg carton. How in the world, Jackson, did you leave it in the egg carton? Robbie knows he's lying immediately. Meanwhile, Miley is at the bank depositing her money. The accounting guy at the bank is like super smiley and it's really weird, and tries to talk her into buying these really nice checkbooks. Miley and Lily get carried away, but then they realize that's part of the issue. Like, they need to spend it responsibly.
Cannot believe I didn't see this coming.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so obvious.
You guys have no idea, do you?
Nope.
Not a clue.
Miley realizes that maybe this is a test from her father to see if she's going to be responsible. And I like that we actually mentioned Det It Be. So Miley exits, she has her checkbook, but she's determined not to spend anything. Lily and Oliver are kind of disappointed. And then we see Rico still trying to sell his empanada and churros and rolls his tongue so hard he faints. Why'd you have to put that in?
So, Miley.
She's so convinced that Robbie is keeping an eye on her that he comes running by the beach and almost challenges him.
Which I won't be buying either, because I got it free at home. Smart cookie.
Jackson is still attempting to find his phone, but he cannot find it anywhere. He actually even trains a golden retriever to look for it. But then when the golden retriever goes right to the egg basket, Jackson thinks he's crazy and dismisses it. Robbie comes home to find that the cell phone is still there, so Jackson hasn't found it.
But I'm not. Why, you ask? Because my father doesn't trust me.
So when Jackson does this guilt trip and pretends to be upset that his dad doesn't trust him, it becomes super obvious how much he's lying. He runs off with the opportunity, and Robbie is really mad now because it's like, of course he should have just come clean. He runs out the door to find Jackson's there, and he did come clean. He was guilty, so Robbie's super proud and allows him to go out. Robbie's like this sensei that gives you really mundane tasks as a test for something bigger, and I think that's really funny of him.
It's like they know I'm here.
Meanwhile, Miley goes to the mall with Lily and Oliver, determined still not to spend anything. Okay, so then why are you at the mall? It turns out there's this blush that's brand new and on sale, and in order to avoid using her credit card, she tries to take a little girl's wig.
Cameras flashing, people fighting for the best shot. They like my hair.
You wear this thing too long, it'll give you a head rash. Believe me, honey, I know.
Dress as Hannah Montana and get it for free. Okay, Miley, that's actually kind of strat. In the end, she becomes so obsessed with trying to get the product still that she falls into the display, which has actual makeup in it. Finally, Robbie is blowing off all the makeup as she is standing up to him. She's like, you were right, fine, you win. But Robbie admits that he didn't give it to her as a test. He gave it to her because he knew she was ready, and she needs to accept that. But she's a little guilty. She feels like she's not ready, and that's a very mature thing of her to say. And this is kind of where the episode ends. So even though it was less Hannah Montana heavy, it still was a pretty good episode, seeing Miley deal with these responsibilities. And as we're getting ready for the Hannah Montana movie, it's gonna come up more and more. The next one is kind of funny. It's called Killing Me Softly with His Height. Obviously a parody of Killing Me Softly with his song, which is a really good one. Second episode where Miley, it seems like, has full bangs. So Miley and Lily are at the mall shopping. Looks like she didn't learn from the last episode. Lily and Miley spot a really cute guy, and Miley calls dibs on him.
A hottie with all of dibs. Wait.
So this is one of Oliver's friends, it seems like, and they're just hanging out. Miley and this guy really hit it off, flirting, and it seems like a relationship, I guess. A girl tries to ask out Oliver, and he turns her down for like some objective reason.
I was wondering if maybe you'd want to go catch a movie tonight.
Sorry, Sophie, I'm going out of town tonight. Yeah, I'm doing some roadie work for this cool new band. The restroom's this way.
Miley critiques Oliver for turning her down for one small physical thing, and I'm confused because isn't he dating Joni? Like, they didn't break up, I don't think, this far, so I'm not sure why that's not an excuse for him. But yeah, while she's critiquing him on being so shallow...
I'm going to the carnival with someone totally nice. Something you would be doing if you weren't so judgmental.
Yeah, face it, Oliver. Miley's just a bigger person.
Turns out this guy is super short, and Miley is the shallow one, of course. Oliver starts to mock her because he knows that she is turned off by his shortness, and it's really funny because I agree with Oliver. Like, she was just mocking him. Like, of course you're gonna turn back. Meanwhile, Robbie is cutting down a tree. Jackson is focused on trying to get into the University of Santa Barbara, and then this is one of the early references that continues a long storyline. Turns out that he needs to get a really good letter of recommendation to make up for his grades. And who is one of the people on the board? Mr. Dodzig, the neighbor.
Not bad, Stuart. But you're gonna have to do a lot more than this if you want to get a letter of recommendation out of me.
Yes, Mr. Donzig. Very good, Mr. Donzig. Anything you say, Mr.
And we get to see Mr. Donzig again. I feel like he was in it a lot in season 1, not that much in season 2. And it's even funnier when Robbie and Mr. Donzig are neck and neck. Meanwhile, Miley goes on the date with this guy, and everything reminds her of his height. They go into this photo booth where he can't fit in it. She gets a bobblehead, which reminds her of him. And he even wins her a giant stuffed animal that's even bigger than he is, this is just completely unrealistic. The most cringiest part is when a mom comes over to ask Miley's date if he would go on the kiddie ride with her daughter, because he's short enough.
Did you have to be taller than him?
Lily and Oliver come over, and Miley still contemplates whether this is a good idea or not, or if she should just give in to being shallow. As they're about to say goodnight to each other, he leans in for a kiss, and she's just so uninterested, so she rejects him, and he knows exactly why. It's because of his height. She makes up something that, like, it's her lip exercises, which is really stupid, and she feels terrible. Robbie comes out and somehow jokes about it. I don't know how he knows what's going on.
I brought you in for something to eat, but obviously you're stuffed.
Miley excuses her disinterest in this guy as just not being attracted to him, but then she imagines what it would be like to be short, and her concert is just her on her knees in her shoes getting judged for being too short, which this is a good lesson on empathy.
Don't judge me! I'm a human being!
Biggest thing in pop? Doesn't look like it from here!
Mr. Dodzig finally gives Jackson his recommendation with one more clause, that he gets Robbie to go out on a date with his sister.
I have a sister.
I feel sorry for her.
She happens to be a big Robbie Ray fan.
I'm starting to feel sorry for me.
And obviously they're like, oh my gosh, if it's his sister, she's probably really not attractive.
Oh my gosh, it's Robbie Ray. I don't believe it.
Miley runs over to the Christmas exhibit to go visit the guy she went on a date with and kind of apologize for being so shallow. Maybe give him another chance. Of course, it doesn't help that he's dressed as an elf. His job is literally being an elf. So as an elf, he rejects her. He does not want to talk to her. He knows kind of what she's about. So she decides to go on with this gesture and prove that she isn't going to be shallow. Like, she wants to give him a real chance. She might like him. So she dresses up as a reindeer and gets involved in the exhibit. Not really the best way to communicate. Apparently, Robbie did go on a date with that girl, and another one of Mr. Donzig's sisters wants to go on a date with him.
What do you need Farmer Fred to do?
Turns out my cousin is an even bigger Robbie Ray fan.
I say good day, Dante. I said good day, Dante.
Robbie rejects it, saying that it's not worth it, and it turns out to be Lisa Rinna. Yeah, the famous girl from Beverly Hills Housewife. He says basically like, oh, you're too ugly, like nobody's ever gonna love you, which is so rude, and it's funny because it's like obviously she's gorgeous. She pulls him aside and really proves to him that she wants to go on another date. I feel like the moral of the story is that it's important she doesn't judge people too soon and she actually gives it a full try.
I don't usually date girls with antlers, so...
And I don't really go out with guys who wear tights. But, I'll give it a shot if you will.
I guess this is the closest episode they've had to being Christmas related. I mean, I get it that he was dressed up as an elf, but like they're still on the beach. Like the carnival wasn't Christmas related. I mean, that would have made sense, but like, I don't know, it's not a Christmas episode, but it is the closest thing Hannah Montana's ever come to it so far. Overall, another episode about Miley being shallow. Okay, I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to get that Miley's a flawed character. It feels like all of this stuff is happening because of her, but you know, she's the main character, so I guess that is the plot. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Hopefully Miley's going to be normal in this one. Episode 6, Would I Lie to You, Lily? Oh my gosh, okay, already. So in Would I Lie to You, Lily, a parody of the song Would I Lie to You, Miley, Lily, and Oliver are dressed as their alter egos coming home from apparently an awards event of some sort. They have these nice purple boxes with gifts in them. Miley brings up the trip they're about to all take to Washington, D.C. The lip balm messes with Lily's speech, so she admits in a blubbering voice that she's not going.
No, that's too much bunny. That is not too much bunny. Money.
Turns out she does not have enough money. Miley is immediately like, I will help pay for you, but she's like, no, like, I don't want that. She acts like she didn't want to go anyway and storms off upset.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I think she really wanted to go.
Meanwhile, at school, they're getting ready for the big field trip with the same teacher from the last season. I like this guy. So Mr. Corelli tells Lily that they actually have enough money in the budget to be able to fund one of the students' trips. But Lily is suspicious. She sees a check from Miley in his books. Turns out Miley was trying to pay for it. Lily is mad because she still doesn't want to accept the money, but Miley just really wants her to go. Oliver suggests that Lily maybe has a yard sale to raise money to go.
Oliver, that's a great idea.
Well, you see, that's the thing. The oak in mine, I'm always thinking. I never...
Meanwhile, Jackson is having trouble at Rico's beach shop because apparently it's a lot of work and he is alone. Rico is a jerk all the time.
Would you please hire some more help? What do you think, I'm made of money? Jeez. Oh, look. I guess I am. My mistake.
And when they see Sarah, Rico decides that he's going to hire her, the person that Jackson hates. Sarah has this obsession with Jackson, which I'm not really sure where it came from. They finally have the yard sale on the beach. Lily is trying to sell all of her stuff, and Oliver tries to con her out of it.
Hey, Lily, how much for the sketchy thing?
$5.
I'll give you $1.50.
Forget it.
But it's missing a knob.
Miley shows up and claims that she wants to sell a bunch of her old stuff, and Lily's like, okay, yeah, sure. But then it ends up being like a super expensive TV, brand new stuff, and Lily's like, no, I'm not gonna sell this. Like, it's just you trying to give me money to go. I would take it if Miley was trying this hard.
The Takamori 1080 3D HD, this just came out today. Give you $5 for it.
Miley admits, okay, fine, she won't do that, and she takes all the stuff back. When Lily comes back, everybody is trying to buy her things. Lily's super excited until she finds out that everybody's trying to buy it because Hannah Montana's signature is on it. So Miley is trying to upsell all of her items. But Lily is frustrated and doesn't count any of it. So when she's trying to figure out how much she got, turns out she does not have enough to go on the trip, and she's just disappointed once again. But later this guy points out her hat and says that that is one of the most expensive old school hat from the New Jersey Knights apparently. And it meant everything to his grandfather, and he'll give her $1,000 for it. She's super excited until she realizes that this has to be Miley. There's no way that this guy just gave her that much money for that. And she super secret swears, which apparently her and Lily do when they need to be super honest with each other. She says, I did not give that guy money to buy that hat. Oliver doesn't believe her and corners her after, and she admits that she didn't give the money to him to buy the hat, she gave it to his brother.
Gave it to his wife, she gave it to him.
which is kind of a lie because she knew it would inadvertently be given to her. Really not cool, Miley. So finally, everybody's on the bus to Washington and really excited when one of the kids is wearing Lily's lucky hat.
Oh no. The guy I got to buy Lily's hat was Blabby Bobby's daddy.
Of course she's gonna recognize it, so Miley has to do whatever it takes to get that out of her sight. Lily eventually finds the guy and learns that her hat wasn't lucky and this was all Miley's ploy, and she is super upset because of course she said she's super secret swore. Like obviously now Lily can't even trust her because of that.
No, you super secret swore that you had nothing to do with me getting the money. Look, I did it for you. No, if you had done it for me, you wouldn't have done it because I told you I didn't want you to do it, but you did it anyway, so you did it for you. You doer for you-er.
Meanwhile, Jackson is working with Sarah, and she's super unbearable, turning everything into an environmental statement at Rico's. Even Rico is starting to have an issue when she decides not to use the actual trays because it's environmental waste. And then finally, her dad is running the electricity by being on a bicycle, which is kind of sad. Rico is about to fire her when it turns out he gives her a raise instead. Jackson is so frustrated. Jackson tries to ask him about it, but it turns out that Rico is just really buckling down on trying to annoy Jackson. She literally promoted him. And on the Washington, D.C. tour, everybody's having a good time except for Lily and Miley because obviously they're in a huge argument. They even leave the tour group to argue in the presidential suite when they find a press room. And they go and argue in front of a bunch of microphones only to find out that there's an entire press conference going on. Suddenly, all these journalists have questions about their friendship and help them dispute their argument.
You believe under certain circumstances it's okay to lie?
Well, you're right. They're busy people. They don't have time for us.
No. Like you said, they are the press. They have a right to know.
They finally end up at the end of the day being like, okay, like I had the best intentions for you and I just wanted to make it up to you. And they finally resolve it. The end.
Hey, just like in my head.
And even the Jackson side plot does not end on a positive note. Sarah still has a promotion and a girl tries to hit on Jackson, but then is harassed by Sarah. So that's just how the episode ends. I guess Sarah works there now. Okay, this is what I like to call the Oliver Pity episode. The episode is number 7 of season 3, You Gotta Lose This Job. It's a reference to the Beatles song, You Gotta Lose That Girl. So Miley is sending an audition tape in for the movie Indiana Jones. Her reader during the audition is so monotone, and this guy is so funny. He's known for his cartoon acting, and Everybody Loves Raymond. He's just all around a good guy. But Miley thinks that it's gonna make the audition bad, so Robbie steps in, and he is just as bad.
The water is so cold, Johnny. I can't feel my legs. Shivers.
And then after that, Lily comes in, who is even worse.
But the water, it's so cold.
Miley is so focused on trying to get this part, she stares at her cell phone all day. She even checks out of class to check her email. They head out to music practice where Oliver is actually getting ready for his new song. He too has a really big audition coming up. And I love this song, Last Forever. It's on the Hannah Montana 3 soundtrack and it is delightful. Oliver is just such a gifted singer. Miley's already inconsiderate of a friend and is trying to get cell reception during his performance, which is so, oh my god, Miley. It's an audition to play at the school dance and Oliver does a great job. Meanwhile, in the B plot, Jackson gets into ventriloquism, and I'm not sure if it's just to bother Rico or what, but he's actually pretty good at it. Suddenly, Lily is annoyed because Miley and Oliver are now obsessed with their phones waiting for a response. And if I had to tell you this changed in reality, and if I had to tell you the culture has gotten any worse than this, I would. It has. Both Miley and Oliver get a call at the same time, but Miley got a call back, so she's super excited and they do the happy dance. Expecting Oliver to have gotten good news too.
Yay! Why aren't you jumping?
Why aren't you yay?
Why aren't you jumping in yay?
I didn't get it.
Oh my gosh, all it was a school dance and he got rejected. That is so not fair. I would love to hear who beat him out for that. Oliver gets really depressed because, you know, he's always around Miley's success, and the one time he actually tried to go after something, it just didn't work out. I mean, I would feel bad too. Oliver kind of makes it personal in that he doesn't really want to be Miley's friend because of how negative her successes make him feel. He doesn't even respond, he just walks out.
He's acting like I get everything I want.
Wait, no,
Wow, your album just went double platinum.
Later, she's trying to call him, but he just won't answer. It seems like he really doesn't want to be her friend anymore. I like that the reason he's not being friends with them just comes down to feeling left out of the spotlight. Like, usually in kids shows, it's like something really bad happens or one character's extremely selfish, but this feels like a really grounded reason for people not to become friends. If anything, I'm worried that they're better off this way, and I hate that. Meanwhile, Oliver finally answers her call, but it turns out that Lily forced him to.
Oliver, I swear, if you don't talk to her, this is going down your shirt.
Well, then I guess it's going down my shirt because I'm not talking to her.
And she dumps ice down his back. She decides the only way to get his friendship back is to act like a complete diva in her callback, lose the part, and be able to tell him that she doesn't win everything.
Why isn't he standing? I entered, didn't I?
Is she serious?
Please, just do it. She has my mother.
She shows up to Rob Reiner's office, puts on her whole act, and he actually really loves it. Oh my god, this guy is messed up. Hollywood is messed up because I kind of believe this happened. He gets that she's doing a complete act and gives her the part.
I really am wacky. 1 minute I'm perfectly fine, and the next I'm pouring ice water down your shirt.
Oh, come on, like you would do that.
Lola.
As Jackson bothers Rico even more with this puppet, Rico gets so upset that he throws it out, and it ends in a wood chipper. Oh my gosh. Apparently, this dummy is for a kids' party that Jackson will be performing at. And now that he doesn't have the dummy, somebody's gonna need to step in. Oh wait, it's Rico.
Make it up to you. Don't worry.
Yeah, you will. And I know exactly how.
Then we have a really funny bit of Rico being rude to Jackson in front of a bunch of kids, and you know, it's definitely funny.
How do you make time fly?
Not by listening to you. You stink.
And then Lily and Miley try to play up Miley's disappointment of not getting the part and trying to get Oliver to be her friend again.
Miley, talk to us, please.
I didn't get the part.
Oh!
She ends up admitting that she tanked the audition just to get his attention. And he finally realizes how much she cares about him, and it's really sweet. The reason I call this the Oliver self-pity episode is because I feel like I've never seen him this low down, and it doesn't really seem like he's trying to achieve a goal. It just seems like he's using his depression as an excuse to leave somebody, and it's kind of distasteful. I've seen better episodes of Oliver, and I want to just believe that this is just a one-off, you know?
And it'll be hard, but you know, not nearly as hard as losing a friend like you.
In the end, Rico sees the dummy one more time, and it's not with Jackson. It's not even a living dummy. But yeah, this episode is really fun. This episode definitely deepens the relationship of the characters, that they're not just passive friends, that they actually have to work together to keep each other in each other's lives. And I love shows that are able to capture the real disagreements that people would have with one another. Okay, next we have Welcome to the Bungle, a parody of the title Welcome to the Jungle. We start with Miley singing Supergirl, which is one of the best songs on the Hannah Montana 3 track, on the Live with Regis and Kelly knockoff. And oh my gosh, these hosts are the most annoying people I've ever seen.
We have a frozen yogurt machine back there. She doesn't even use a bowl.
I don't. I really don't. He just goes straight down the chute. But seriously, pregnancy has taught me that good nutrition is no laughing matter.
I know that's the part of the joke, but it's just ridiculous. Meanwhile, at the beach, Lily agrees with me. She makes fun of the talk show hosts, and it's relevant. Miley hears on the radio that all the kids started eating candy corn because of what Hannah Montana said on TV. Miley apparently publicly shames carrots.
You know what? No, thank you. I don't like carrots. I don't really like anything with the word rot in it.
You don't like carrots?
Sorry, if this girl's eating an orange snack, it will be candy corn.
As kids across America ditch the healthy snack for candy corn.
We want candy corn! We want candy corn!
So we're gonna dive into the real life complications of having a pop star role model, and this is one of the topics I was super excited for them to cover. Next, Miley goes back on the talk show to advocate for carrots. She comes dressed as a carrot, which is really embarrassing, and changes the lyrics to match the vegetable.
Everybody's crunching me, I clear your skin and help you see. I'm super carrot.
Meanwhile, Jackson and Oliver fight over a girl on the beach, and they're fighting about who is more attractive, who is cuter, and they're even interrupted by a modeling agent saying that both of them have great potential.
I have been looking for it all day, and you two have got it.
Yeah, but I took an oatmeal bath earlier.
They laugh at first until she mentioned that there's gonna be girls, and then both of them agree. Then we go back to Miley on the talk show, knowing that she really doesn't like carrots and seeing her be fake and try to get the kids to have them. The next day, her and Lily watch TV, only to find out that Miley ended up trashing books. And now suddenly none of the kids are reading, and she's like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. We actually tackle a really real issue in the entertainment industry, which is expecting all these teenage idols to become role models. Apparently it affects the entire world, which I love it when a show's stakes are so high that one mistake can lead to an entire world having issues. Like, it just shows that Miley is in such a position of power that all of her flaws are exaggerated times 1,000, and that always makes a good TV show. Miley debates trying to undo the book situation, and Robbie suggests that she actually practices her public relations. And who better to test her than Jackson?
And we were looking over the majestic Pacific.
Don't offend the other oceans.
The majestic mighty waters.
Nice save. Now take me home.
Jackson drills her on all these questions she could be asked to make sure that she will not advocate for something wrong again. Jackson turns out to be actually pretty good at this, and Miley's impressed and wants to do good. And then we get a really uncomfortable sequence of Jackson and Oliver being models, and I don't know what this is. I do not remember this episode, but I know for a fact that there's no way it's gonna end up with them actually being models. Oh my gosh, and it's not. It's them in a magazine saying that they're average, which is so rude. Of course Rico is laughing at this, and they put up a giant poster on the beach. Oh my god, these poor guys. Then Miley's back on a talk show, this time with a script to make sure she does not mess up. If I were these hosts, I'd be like, why are we bringing the same celebrity back on 3 times this week? Miley tries so meticulously to watch her words to not cause any more outbursts that she barely can talk. It's even worse when they open the audience to fan questions, and she has to be super broad with her answers.
I loved reading, but then you said you hated it, and now you say you like it again, and I just don't know what to do.
Oh no, honey. Don't cry. Just because I don't like reading doesn't mean you don't have to.
So you don't like reading again?
Which kind of reminds me about all media nowadays. Like, I feel like all celebrities just don't want to be under public scrutiny, so they'll say whatever. And that's kind of what Miley's going through right now. The audience critiques everything she said, and she just essentially cannot win in any of these scenarios. You can see her getting visibly upset because she's trying so hard to do the right thing. And if I were in her position, I would be just as upset. Miley has a speech where she says that they should not look up to her. She talks about if, like, one of your friends didn't like carrots, doesn't mean you can't. And the host comes in with a really wise thing to say, saying that self-worth actually comes from within, and everybody's shocked that he's so insightful.
Self-worth comes from you, not from others.
Saving Hannah Montana from this tragedy. We end the episode with a similar plot line to when Hannah had that Zit poster where Jackson and Oliver are trying to take down the posters of themselves. I think this is the same actress from that episode too. Overall, this is like one of the best episodes in the entire series because it shows the most humorous and the most tragic parts of being a celebrity, having to have your own opinion, but also not being expected to speak for everybody else. The definition of a celebrity, though, is inherently representing all of us. That's why we have such hard pressure on them. But if we actually take a step back and see where a celebrity is coming from, this person who actually makes mistakes and has a good and a bad side, we'll realize that nobody should really be held under such scrutiny. I mean, times are changing now, and it seems like celebrities aren't all they're cracked up to be, and people are preferring a more human experience with more flawed people, and I love that our culture is turning that way. But this was a time where it was 100% real. Like, everybody was looking to celebrities to know what to do. And of course, Miley, a 16-year-old girl, can only give the perspective from a 16-year-old. And showing how much she cares to get it right is just really good for her character. Because she makes a lot of terrible, terrible decisions and comes across as pretty selfish most of the time, I would say. But this episode, she comes from a very genuine place. And I love the fact that most of the scenes are all on this talk show. It's both funny, realistic, and it's just, oh gosh, I love this episode. So in Papa's Got a Brand New Friend, it's a reference to the song Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. Hannah Montana is at a choreography rehearsal, a side that we don't usually get to see of Hannah. Her choreographer is awesome, energetic, and falls out a window in this opening. Oh no.
Just walk it off. Okay. Crawling works too. Oh no.
Robbie is helping Miley try to figure out somebody to replace her.
She's incapacitated.
Oh, well, let's just drive to Capacitated and get her.
Meanwhile, Joni is trying to get Oliver to exercise with her. See, they are in a relationship, so he should have used that as an excuse in the killing her softly with his height episode. Oliver has a hard time fitting in with her, and I feel bad for this guy. Jackson tries to tell him to stand up for himself, but Oliver just can't. Meanwhile, Robbie and Miley are auditioning new choreographers, and they're all kind of cringy until there's this guy that comes in and has really sweet moves, and Miley finds out that she actually choreographed for Madonna, NSYNC, and he's a super charismatic and fun guy. Robbie even hires him before Hannah could. In the B-plot, Oliver has finally come to terms that he needs to not be with Joni anymore, so Jackson tries to inspire Oliver to get her to break up with him first. He does this really specific thing where he pretends that he could communicate with aliens and tries to bring her along with him, and I'm not falling for this, Oliver. Joni ends up being supportive and tries to follow along with his new hobbies. When it's finally time for the first session of choreography, Hannah reveals to Lola that apparently choreographer and Billy Ray have become super tight friends and have a new dialogue between each other, and it's actually really sweet. The second choreography class starts.
Looks like your dad's having a little bromance.
Yeah, but he deserves it, and it's awesome that it's with the guy's greatest Sean.
Who is talking?
I was just telling Lola that I think that...
the world revolves around Hannah?
This guy goes super hard on Hannah. He is like insanely aggressive and even is willing to fire people and tell Lola to stand in the back corner. Oh my gosh. Hannah goes back to visit her old choreographer to see she's in a full body cast, and Hannah is literally trying to ask her to come back.
What do you say we get you on your feet and into the dance studio? Come on.
Miley, this is not nice. You're visiting her. The nurse tells her to leave, and thank God. Meanwhile, Robbie and the new choreographer come back into the house, and it turns out that he saved Robbie by sucking the venom out of his leg on a motorcycle trip. Oh, so this guy's using his personal life to make up for his creative mistakes, which is kind of nuts. He says to Robbie that his friendship is payment enough for his choreography.
We're never getting rid of me.
Never?
And Hannah is upset. Meanwhile, Joni does actually start to question Oliver's new alien-like hobby, even confiding in Jackson, which doesn't make sense. And she tries to get advice on how to break up with him.
Sometimes things like this happen in this crazy mixed-up world. But somehow, I think he's gonna be okay.
So Hannah goes back to dance rehearsal and tells her backup dancers that they have to suck it up because this choreographer is actually a really good person. It doesn't matter how strict he is. He comes in and takes things way too far with a new choreography dance where she is a puppet and has strings attached to her limbs. It's really funny to show how controlled Miley is and how far Sean is willing to take this. He uses it as a metaphor of breaking free of the strings, and come on, guy, you're just being abusive at this point.
Well, shouldn't there be a part where I break free? Like now?
No.
As they go through rehearsal, this contraption actually manages to fling Hannah out the window. So they put Sean on the strings and make him dance for the end. Robbie reveals that nobody messes with his little girl, so he does have a line to draw, even though this guy saved her life, Robbie. This one is fun because we get a peek into Hannah's choreography life, and that's something we don't really see a lot. The more episodes we get, it seems like the more detailed plot lines we get into Hannah's pop star career. And as somebody who loves entertainment, it is really cool to get insight on all these performances and rehearsals and hiring a choreographer and such. Now, before we cover the next 2 episodes that take place for the movie, let's dive into Hannah Montana 3, the album. What's up, everybody? It's Johnny 2000. Did that mess up the mic? What's up, guys? I am here today to talk to you guys about Hannah Montana 3, the best Hannah Montana album out there. Now, this does not only encapsulate the show, it encapsulates the essence of what Hannah Montana represents. Independence, growing up, and yet somehow superheroism. If that's a word. Superheroism. Heroine superism. But yeah, let's go. I want to go track by track, talk about some of the important people that made these songs happen, and then talk about how apparently there is a deluxe edition DVD that I'm going to try to get my hands on next, because I didn't even know that was a thing. It's been really fun jumping into the 3rd season. This is definitely my favorite season of Hannah Montana for good reason. Like, there's a lot of character development, things get so much funnier, and they finally just let loose on all the pop star and teenage hijinks without thinking about it. It's like you expect them to run out of ideas with this. If anything, I feel like they're just getting started. The show is at an all-time peak. It's not just the show, it's the music. Yeah, that's right. We talked about the Hannah Montana 2 album, and there were some really good bangers on there. But yeah, there's actually 14 tracks, and 2 of them came as a big surprise to me, and I can't wait to kind of break these down for you. The thing that makes Hannah Montana so unique is that the albums so closely coincide with the story, the feeling of identity, and the split personality of Hannah and Miley. But I feel like Hannah Montana finds a place for every song and somehow could be connected to every episode that they're talking about. It's really nice when multimedia franchises work together to make something work really well, and this is a prime example. So let's start with track number 1. We got It's All Right Here, and I'm telling you, it's all right there! Somebody that helped write this song was Antonio Armato, and wrote songs for the Jonas Brothers, Vanessa Hudgens, and is responsible for Love You Like a Love Song, that Selena Gomez song. I wish this was in the Hannah Montana movie, if anything. My favorite part is the pre-chorus. It's just so catchy and leads us to like feel like we're pumping up to go somewhere really fun, and it's being in the moment, feeling what really goes on. And it's so crazy how the bridge just veers off and sounds almost like a hoedown for a moment. Like, how in the world did it go like that? Apparently also Timothy James Price worked on this, and he worked with the Cheetah Girls for some of their music, which it's exciting because I loved the Cheetah Girls growing up. That was actually my first concert. Sometimes the beat dances along with you. So for track number 2, we got Let's Do This. See, this is kind of weird because it's like we have 2 songs that are just pumping up the party, not to be ironic. But Let's Do This kind of pumps you up in a different way. It's kind of about setting out a goal and achieving the goal, but having the goal be so rooted in fun and adventure. I feel like if this were like about arriving somewhere and completely embracing everything life's about, is really what Hannah Montana is about. Let's Do This was used in all the promos for season 3, and it is a perfect encapsulation of the vibe of season 3. Like, we're here to have fun. Kind of like she did with We Got the Party in Us with the Jonas Brothers, if you guys remember that from the 2nd season. Hannah is in the spotlight now more than ever, so she has to keep her charisma. Then we have our first slow one, Mixed Up. Mixed Up is so heartfelt and talking about being lost in a transition in your life that you're just not ready for. And not only is Miley handling credit cards, the idea of everything you're doing under such scrutiny. I just feel so emotionally connected to that. Especially the chorus. I couldn't hear the chorus enough. I mean, like, play it over and over again and I will love it every time. Cara Diagardi wrote this song, and she wrote songs for Christina Aguilera, and she did a lot in the pop rock genre. I think she even won an award, and she was even a judge on American Idol in the 8th and 9th seasons. I mean, can you imagine? And also did He Could Be the One on this album. She worked with Mitch Allen, who is somebody who also made music for Demi Lovato, Third Eye Blind, and Jason Derulo? Yeah, this was a really good pop alternative rock guy. So He Could Be the One is the most infamous song on this whole album. Not only is it catchy, but it had a 2-part special based off of it. Literally, the Jake Ryan episode with Jesse, such a good episode. And I always hear people talking about how fun this song is. There's a lot of love songs out there, but this one is just naively optimistic, I guess, like diving into that deep part of us that is so happy to be in love and imagining a future together. It's like the sequel to If We Were a Movie, and it does it so well. Apparently, it reminded the people who wrote it of Shania Twain, which is kind of interesting. And then, for some reason, we jump back to a ballad, which is not necessarily a bad thing. All of these ballads seem to be very intentional. Like, Mixed Up is about confusion. Just a Girl is more about defeat, in the sense that, like, this world is so big and so much is going on, like, there's only so much one can do, and being just this small person on this big planet is just so emotional. It's almost like a sequel song to Bigger Than Us. I know it doesn't sound like it at all, but I see it being one of those things. There's a yearning to get to know the place. And the final chorus is even more powerful than Mixed Up, I would say. It's just so good. I always used to get I Wanna Know You, featuring David Archuleta, confused with He Could Be the One, because I don't know, I guess they're both the most poppy songs on the album. But this song is a lot more genuine. It's about, like, really caring about somebody and wanting to get to know them more. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a romantic relationship. And that's what I like about Hannah Montana. I feel like the series focuses more about friendship, relationships with parents, all these really beautiful things in life that don't have an expectation set to it. And imagining just getting to know somebody just to really understand them and care about them, the song makes you feel like you're meeting Hannah. And then we got one of my absolute favorites for this album, Supergirl. In one of the episodes in early season 3, Robbie was actually creating this song, which is so meta, I guess. But like that idea that like when you put on that wig you become like a superstar, like you could fly, you could do anything. I mean, it's not exactly that, but being confident, being strong and powerful. It's like the sequel to Rockstar from the second album. But this time it's taking, I would say Rockstar is more celebratory and Supergirl is more heroic. I mean, it's just so good. Every part of me is taking off the other ballads, and it's about giving yourself to other people. Every inch of you and love you have is like just being spread out through everyone, and like almost like the emotional weight that something like that can cause. For me, the bridge is like the best part of the song, where it's just kind of like talking about like waiting too long, finding out where you belong. It's like giving yourself away but still being grateful for all these opportunities. Like, it is so good in that sense. Then we have Ice Cream Freeze. So Ice Cream Freeze is probably my least favorite on this album, but definitely still catchy. Like, for being the worst song on the album, I would say it's still a 9 out of 10. Like, everything on this album is iconic. It feels like a parody of the Hoedown Throwdown in almost a more comical way, and it's fun, but it's not really integrated into the show too much. It doesn't really have a lot of substance to it, I would guess. I feel like it's one of those get up and dance songs, which is great. Like, every kid's album needs something like that, and I love that it's a part of it. And then finally, our last ballad is, it looks like Don't Wanna Be Torn is actually one of the songs that the most people were working on, and it shows. Like, this song is so careful and it takes its time, it's vulnerable, but I think the word I would use to describe it is cautious. And it's interesting to end an album with the last ballad song being cautious, and I'm not sure it's intended that way, but I definitely feel like somebody is making a decision about something really important, and it's most notably in the He Could Be the One special. Somehow this show is so musically driven, but it's also separate from being called a musical. Like, I wouldn't call this a musical series, I would call it a series with music, but like, it is so good at perfecting that as an art. Like, a musical is something that coincides with the story that you can't live without, but Hannah Montana can live without the music and uses it as a texture to really develop the emotions that you would feel if you were in Hannah's position. So it's almost like you want to be Hannah Montana, but there's such emotional connections you'll have to a pop star that you can still feel right here as a normal person. And then it has such a great build up to a guitar solo at the very end, and it's like none of the other songs sound like this at all, except for the ballads. I mean, they're slow songs, they sound like each other, it's no big deal. But otherwise, like, Don't Wanna Be Torn, phenomenal. Let's Get Crazy takes us right back up to the excitement, and I am back to having a good time and remembering what Hannah Montana is all about. It's the hype up song in the movie, it's exciting to see Miley sing it in the show, it's all around good times and what makes Hannah Montana the best. God, I don't have that much more to say about it. So the 11th song I feel like would be the last one. Let's Get Crazy is a great way to end the album, and the next song is just I Wanna Know You Again, so I don't really want to talk about that too much. But one of the bonus tracks on this album is so good for no reason. Let's Make This Last Forever, and Hannah Montana's not even the one singing it. What? It's Oliver. I mean Mitchel Musso, but it's Oliver. It is a really good song. I really recommend you guys listening to it. It's weird because it's like a guy's song in the style of Hannah Montana, which no album has really done before, and the fact that it's one of the core cast members is even more exciting. And speaking of bonuses, we finally end on If We Were a Movie, but this time with Corbin Bleu. Yeah, and the song is a lot more enhanced, coming back from season 1 and just going all out in this one. I can't believe how surprised I was to enjoy this. Like, you expect it to just be the same song, but there's something about the harmonies of Corbin Bleu and Miley Cyrus that's just like, wow, this song is so careful in a really positive way. Like, it's like talking about fantasizing, being in love, so giddy about the future. I just, this whole album, I put this album on when I'm ready to get in my feels and have a party at the same time, which is kind of weird that, you know, you feel it like that, but I experience life that way. I feel like this relates to me a lot because I am one of two things. I'm either optimistic and having the time of my life, no pun intended, because that's a Miley Cyrus song, or I'm recontemplating my entire life. And it sounds like a little complicated, but it's true. It's feeling on top of the world, but then also a little under the world at the same time. It's two extremes. It's like grounded, it's like it allows you to be confident, and it just everything about this I love. Thank you guys so much for watching my review of the Hannah Montana Season 3 soundtrack, and I hope you guys feel as closely to it as I did. You know, it's not easy to make a show with music and separate it from a musical, give it its own identity, and Hannah Montana is so good at doing all of that and more. Not only do they have the best artists helping them make these songs, it's like, it just fits into the world so well. It's really nice, and it adds, I think it solidifies Hannah Montana as the perfect franchise. Okay, now that we went through the album, let's jump back into it. So the next episode we have is Cheat It, based on Beat It by Michael Jackson, obviously. So in the beginning, we see Miley posing with Austin Rain at the 15th annual Teen Scene Awards, and they look like they're a couple and sweet, calling this guy Austin Miley's new beau, Hannah's new beau. But the moment the cameras are off, Hannah and Austin show their actual disgust for each other, and they're only pretending to be a couple to promote their new duet, Us Isn't Us Without You. Oh my god, what a cringe name for something like that. Then we see Miley sticking her chewed gum onto Austin's face on the magazine cover. She does not like him. Lily jokes about how hot Austin is, only to get like a really annoyed response from Miley. Miley is about to leave when she sees Jackson suspiciously trading paper for some money with a guy.
Miley, you go here?
Oh, Jackson. She finds out that he bought test answers and flushes it down the toilet in the girl's bathroom.
Where do you think you're going, Stuart? Oh, the dress means it's the girls' room. Principal's office? Yeah.
Later, Miley warns Jackson not to cheat again. Jackson agrees, and Miley hugs him and tells him how proud she is. However, they have a visitor, the same boy Jackson was receiving the paper from yesterday. Miley realizes that he was still making deals with Jeff, even though he pretends like he's not. Oh my god, is Jackson like the villain of this show?
Can you believe that guy? Hey, I think I'm gonna go check the mail.
Jackson points out the hypocrisy because Miley is literally pretending to date somebody she's in love with. Like, how is that not the same? Miley tries to argue, but it's not really that different. Lily doesn't even take her side. She says Jackson has a point.
I know he's a jerk, but that song is still so darn romantic.
I know, but I was just thinking about Jackson the whole time.
Wow, that's a little weird.
I was talking about his cheating.
And saying while Jackson's doing something wrong, in his situation, he's only really lying to herself, but in Miley's situation, she's lying to the entire world. Woof. Meanwhile, Robbie Ray is tired after mopping the floor from general chores, which is always a fun subplot, and he sees an ad for Senor Steam. He gives it a call and ends up purchasing it, only to find out that Rico has owned the company since he was 10. Oh my god, how does Rico show up everywhere? Miley performs the song with Austin on the Jimmy Kimmel knockoff show. She comes clean live on the talk show and admits,
The publicity people only made us pretend that we liked each other to sell our records.
Millions and millions of records, you little goofball, you.
oh my gosh, Miley in the public eye is so horrible this season. Like, I would not trust her anything I heard. Jackson is proud of her and even rips up the test answers. Later, Robbie has a problem with the sauna, so he calls Rico to come fix it. Rico has like a long call line, and it's really funny watching Robbie wait on the phone.
If you're experiencing noxious and or potentially fatal fumes coming from your cedar seat, press 67.
I'm gonna be 67 before this is over.
Jackson is so worried about not getting into college that he is determined to still go through with cheating. Miley tries to do whatever it takes to stop him from going to his test after she finds out that he has the answers written on him. Eventually, she tricks him into getting into Robbie's sauna, and Lily turns on the heat. Finally, the answers melt off of him, and him and Miley make up finally. This is a sweet episode because it's not like them versus one another, it's like them in their own situations, but kind of mentoring each other through it in a more active way. Like, clearly Miley cares about Jackson, and this episode makes her look a lot better. And I like that the sauna actually plays into the regular A-plot. Like, it's not just Robbie getting a sauna and leaving, like, it actually has meaning to it. The episode ends with Robbie in the sauna, And Rico comes in too. Turns out the friends and family discount on the sauna means that the friends and family can come at any time. I would not have taken this discount. So next we have episode 11, Knock Knock Knocking on Jackson's Head. So if the last episode wasn't enough, Miley and Jackson are still butting heads. He ends up stealing her breakfast, and Miley suggests moving and leaving him behind. That's kind of dark, Miley.
I'll try just for you.
Let go of my tie!
Not until you apologize for ruining my razor on those sandpaper legs.
Then they have tug-of-war with Miley's pantyhose, and these guys are just getting worse and worse. The tug-of-war goes so far and Jackson even falls backward and hits himself on the head. It turns out he has amnesia. Woo, I love these types of episodes when the main character loses their memory, and I like that it's Jackson and not Miley. Later, Jackson comes back from the doctor, and it's confirmed he does not have his memory.
Jackson, who was the first president of the United States?
George Washington.
And who am I?
George Washington?
I'm your father.
My father's George Washington?
No! Your father's Robbie Ray Stewart!
Why is she yelling at me, George?
Jackson actually confides with Miley, trying to get his memories back, asking if they got along, and Miley says, like, he idolized her, which is obviously a lie.
And, you owe me $20.
Meanwhile, Rico's cousin Angus apparently is coming to town. And this is another trope where a character has that distant family member coming into town and the character has to lie about what they've been up to just to wear a certain facade. I think even Roxy had that plot in the last season. It is a doppelganger, and of course, another Disney Channel show that does this trope where the actor plays themselves and the twin. Miley did this, Mr. Dodzig did this in the last episode, and Mr. Mosby did this in The Sweet Life. I don't get why this is so appealing.
I'm kind of busy here with my very successful beachfront bistro.
Rico uses Lily to say that he has a girlfriend, who is not excited about this. Later, Robbie and Hannah are about to go to a signing or something, and Jackson is acting super nice to Miley. It's revealed that apparently she wrote a diary for him to make all of his interests relevant to her. Oh my god, Miley, this is not good.
Travel mug, please.
Done and done, oh most awesomest divine delight of my life.
Divine delight of my life? Let me guess. Your diary?
You got it word for word. His memory just keeps getting better and better.
Meanwhile, Miley and Lily hang out. Lily tells her about how she has to be Rico's girlfriend, and Miley brags about how Jackson is really awesome now, until this really attractive guy comes to the beach and Miley wants to flirt with him. Unfortunately, Jackson is now an overprotective brother, and we're starting to see negative sides to this as he gets in the way.
You are?
Gabe.
Grade point average?
3-2.
Any plans for college?
Not yet.
Career goals?
I'm only 16.
Get out.
What?
I said get out, Mr. Man!
Later at school, he is even more overbearing. I don't know how he would go about school without recognizing anything. This is so crazy to me. He at least would need an excuse or something. This guy just went through a traumatic event. Jackson even handpicks out a guy for Miley. He's kind of a nerd and not fun, and Miley is super upset. She goes to talk to her dad and figure out when this amnesia is gonna go away, but he says it could last for years. Later, Miley decides to come clean and tell Jackson that they didn't actually get along, but he doesn't even believe her.
You're bratty and stinky and sloppy and lazy and stinky and horrible to live with and you're stinky.
She tells him she wrote the journal and everything. Later, Rico and his cousin start to have a dance-off on the beach. It even escalates so far that they start kung fu fighting in the sky, which is actually a little too ridiculous. Lily and Rico's cousin's girlfriend admit that they both were putting on a facade and leave the boys behind. Later, Miley actually goes through with the mementos and shows Jackson all of the Hannah stuff he messed up, but he's still not able to come back to normal.
Try it, it's fun.
No, I could never do that.
Jackson admits that this was all a joke and he was putting on this facade the whole time, but obviously Miley can't feel that bad because she literally used him. Like, Miley, what you did was worse. And that's how the episode ends.
Jackson! Jackson.
In number 12, You Give Lunch a Bad Name, which is a parody of You Give Love a Bad Name, Miley and Jackson see off Robbie Ray as he's about to go off with the band again. They dance in celebration because they finally have the house to themselves. Later, they get all gussied up and make fun of Robbie Ray as they go out to do whatever they feel like doing. They're interrupted when Meemaw comes to the door. You remember Meemaw every season but this one. Miley and Jackson are super impatient because they do not want to be watched by an adult, but Meemaw is here to stay.
Your daddy seems to think that you are old enough to be left on your own. And once again, he is not thinking straight. You know, I blame it on those tight jeans.
Miley and Jackson already feel claustrophobic with her in the house. And everybody knows not getting along with your grandparents is always interesting. Meemaw gives Miley and Jackson backpacks and forces them to wear it, so they go to school completely embarrassed. But thank God Meemaw's not there, so they can at least get some free time. Oh wait, Meemaw is on the staircase, calling out to both Miley and Jackson because they forgot their water bottles. Jackson runs to catch his water bottle and accidentally knocks out the school lunch lady. The principal is like, oh my god, we have to find a replacement, and of course Meemaw happens to be the right place, the right time.
But where am I going to find somebody with years of experience of our beloved Janie?
Judy.
Whatever.
She flirts with the principal, which is uncomfortable, and takes the position. Miley, Jackson, Oliver, and Lily are embarrassed now as Meemaw becomes one of the most embarrassing lunch ladies ever.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
I'm all finished.
With all of that coleslaw left? I don't think so.
She's strict and does a lot of things that lunch ladies shouldn't have the power to do. Rico leads a charge and everybody hating her.
Yeah, you know what? They're not gonna blame you for what your grandma's doing.
You brought this plague upon us.
Jackson tries to talk to his mama, but he's interrupted when she's super kind and caring to him, and she guilts him essentially. He decides to try to get used to the idea. They later come up with an idea to get mama fired, so they have Jackson pose as a health inspector to come check on the kitchen while she's in it. She's really sour toward this guy, and they're not getting along, but it's so funny to see Jackson act like this. This is probably Jackson's funniest persona. Jackson cannot find a single thing that would validate a health inspector needing to be there, so Miley has to interfere. When Jackson gets a moment alone with her, he tries to convince Miley to leave a piece of her hair in the kitchen. It works, and Mama is completely suspicious and is able to figure out what happened, and that Jackson is not really a health inspector.
Jackson? What is going on?
Later, she's sad, and Jackson and Miley try to apologize. I can't tell if they're actually sorry or just because they got caught. It's one of those episodes where they feel bad because obviously they didn't feel comfortable telling her that she was embarrassing them, but they all make up as Mama accepts the boundary, and she goes surfing with the principal, and that's how it ends. Isn't it hard to believe that this is the last episode before the Hannah Montana movie? Like, what about this actually led to it happening? The only reason I know this is because the next episode is where Lily and Oliver start dating, and obviously that doesn't happen in time for the movie. And everywhere online says that the movie takes place after episode 12 and before 13, which makes complete sense. Especially with all of these antics of Jackson trying to get into college. It finally does pay off in the Hannah Montana movie when he actually goes to it. It's really hard to connect the movie and the TV show, except for really small minor details, like whether it's dialogue of somebody saying something or referencing Crowley Corners somehow. But if we could piece this together ourselves, it kind of does make a lot of sense.
Miley Stewart's Hannah Montana! Oh no, I just gave up the secret!
What secret? She announced it at a Ray's final farewell concert 50 years ago!
Season 3 of Hannah Montana was its peak. Not only did it have the best album, but it had its own feature-length film in theaters. It had the Best of Both Worlds concert tour. It doesn't get any bigger than that in Hannah Montana Season 3. And recently we went over the first 13 episodes, everything until before Lily and Oliver start dating. But I intentionally had that also stop at right before the movie took place. Yeah, the Hannah Montana movie will come up a lot more in this, as I am a big fan of how they connect. And after part 1, we got to see all the starter episodes, the new changes that are going on with Miley Stewart. And we're gonna shift toward the last 17 episodes. Yeah, season 3 had 30 episodes, and it dragged on for a while. I'm not saying the episodes aren't good, but there is a lot of them, and a lot of stuff we get to get into. Kind of like that season 2 thing, when it dragged on for 10 more episodes than I thought it would. Yeah, this one does a similar thing. But we get so much deeper with the relationships with Robbie Ray, Oliver, Jackson, and I'm so excited to go over it with you guys. So without further ado, let's dive in. Starting with episode 13, What I Don't Like About You, a parody of that song, What I Like About You. So we start the episode with Hannah Montana coming back from her newest movie, Indiana Jones, and it's this really obvious parody of Indiana Jones, but it's funny watching her outtakes. Miley's returning home from this long vacation, hoping that nothing's changed, only to leave the room and see that Lily and Oliver kiss. Oh my gosh, what? We jump into hearing them talk about why they need to keep it a secret from her and that she wouldn't really understand right away, and Oliver has a couple funny lines here.
You know, sometimes I could say things like, ooh, doesn't Lily look cute today? And, you know, another time you could be like, wow, I've never really noticed it, but Oliver looks like a Greek god, or...
Miley confronts them at the beach, saying that she knows what happened because obviously it was in their living room.
You guys should date. And then not tell me about it.
I think she knows.
And they pretty much admit to it right away. See, this is where it's a little bit different than iCarly. Like, iCarly happened over the course of a couple episodes, but Miley found out they're together, already are approaching them about it, and this actually leads into the disagreement.
So seriously, you think Radiohead is better than Coldplay?
Radio play, cold head. The main thing is, you guys are together, right?
It doesn't seem like they as a couple argue or disagree too much. It's almost like this is one really specific scenario. And in this scenario, basically they argue over Radiohead versus Coldplay, like which song did they dance to, which leads to them arguing about their first date and even more.
If you like Coldplay so much, they should be your girlfriend. You could take them skating and then not remember it.
I'll take them skating and not remember it. You know what? Who's 12 now?
And they even break up pretty much right then and there on the beach, which this is what should have happened with Freddie and Sam. Like, theirs is so dysfunctional, it's almost like distasteful. Like, you feel guilty for watching them be together and happy about it. Where at least Lily and Oliver, you're like, okay, I could see why they should be together.
Because you're obviously wrong.
I'll tell you what's wrong. When I picked you as a boyfriend.
Oh.
You guys, please stop fighting. This is ridiculous.
Miley is insistent that if they're going to argue, they better come back to her by the time they're done. So she sits on the beach until midnight. Robbie actually even gives her a blanket because that's how long she's been there. Throughout the episode, she constantly asks Robbie for advice through metaphor of his sandwich.
And the tomato decided that they should be together. Oh, I love you, bacon pop. Yes, I love you too, tomato pop. And then the lettuce decided to finally come back home, and they start arguing. Oh, bacon. Oh, tomato. Oh, no. And then I'm the lettuce, I get in the middle.
And keeps destroying it every chance she gets. And this is the part that's the most like iCarly. So Lily and Oliver are sitting on separate tables at the beach, insisting Miley chooses them as her best friend. She goes to Lily first and says that she chose her, but should probably apologize to Oliver because he deserves at least that. Then she goes to Oliver and says that she chose him and was just apologizing to her about it because she deserves that.
Wow. You really did pick me, I mean, over your best girlfriend? Man, I must be awesome.
So she basically told both of them that she's choosing them over one another. Meanwhile, the subplot is Jackson trying to get into college. He wants to go to Santa Barbara, so he has this interview that's about to happen at the house. So to look really good, he tries to make it look like he started a nonprofit for children, which is very specific. I would kind of believe that. Cheryl Hines is a guest star in this episode, and she comes to interview Jackson. Robbie has a guilt talk with him to make sure that he doesn't actually go through with it, and it works. Jackson admits to the woman that he's been lying about all his good deeds. And she's basically like, yeah, you're not getting into college. Like, you expect them to be like, okay, yeah, you're honest, you could definitely do it, but that didn't happen in this one. Later, she asks Oliver to come over, and we're still not really sure what her plan is until they both show up into Miley's house.
What are you doing here? She chose me, Miley.
She's dressed as Indiana Jones, and I'm uncomfortable. So she plays a video with her playing both of these parts, Lily and Oliver, and showing their argument and why it was like so petty.
Yeah, and, her hair smelled like apples. I like apple.
So for season 3, episode 14 of Hannah Montana, we have Prom Mia, which is a play on the title Mamma Mia, obviously. So Lily and Oliver are bragging around school that they already have a date to the dance, which they're kind of obnoxious in this moment.
That feeling of being so desperate, so needy, so...
Ask me now. You ask me now.
Oh my god, this is so sad. So her friends have a talk with her, making it worse, talking about how it sucks to be single, which is not helpful, guys. Then Miley stands by a poster, trying to give subtle hints to this guy that she wants to be asked to prom, and he's clearly not asking her.
There you are again. Are you following me? Because here we are. Again.
And she does not give up, which she should have done since the beginning. He admits that this other girl just asked her, which, Miley, if you weren't being so desperate, you could have just approached him first. Meanwhile, this nerd named Aaron, which I could swear was in other teen shows before, tries to ask a girl to a dance, and she rejects him, being so embarrassed.
I'm waiting for somebody better to ask. Sorry.
Appreciate the honesty.
This makes Miley feel really bad because it seems like they don't even pity him. She goes to talk to him to make him feel better, but then he ends up getting the idea that she wants to go to prom with him.
Will you go with me?
Keep walking.
Miley.
She's just straightforward doing it. She even tries to walk away, which is rude, and then says yes. He gets overly excited and calls his family. Meanwhile, Billy Ray is fed up with Jackson because he let him come home from college, and he's not really doing anything with his life. He's waking up late, he's not doing anything. But this is a good callback to the movie. I feel like the writers tried to do a good job connecting the events of the movie and now.
You know, I let you come home from college because you said you were homesick. Well, now I'm homesick too. Sick of having you home doing nothing.
He tries to get Jackson to go to college, and it doesn't work. Meanwhile, Miley talks to Billy Ray about asking Aaron to prom. But she gets a call from David Archuleta, who was also in iCarly, oh my gosh, saying that he wants to record a song with her the night of her prom. And obviously she's not super excited to go to prom with Aaron, so she almost says yes immediately, and does not think of the consequences.
So see, I think that if Aaron knew this, he would be the first to insist that I bail on the prom. And if he doesn't, I don't want to go with someone so selfish anyways. Oh, and another thing is, he kind of took advantage of me, you know, when he cornered me into going out with him tonight. So I think that boy actually owes me an apology.
So Miley goes to Aaron's house, ready to explain to him why she can't go to prom with him. She runs into his grandmother and feels horrible because he was so excited to finally go.
We flew in from Pittsburgh as soon as we got the news. Last-minute flights are expensive, so we had to dip into our meat money.
Meanwhile, Jackson is really embarrassed and does not want to go to college. He feels so much pressure, and it's actually kind of sad. Like, I feel bad for this guy.
You think that Jackson Rod Stewart is scared? I'm terrified.
Robbie tries to give him a pep talk, but it doesn't really work out. And Jackson is so scared that he's going to end up at Rico's for the rest of his life that he definitely does go back to try. So I guess sweet fear does work. Meanwhile, Miley is as Hannah, recording the song with David Archuleta. I Want to Know You is a really good song from the season 3 soundtrack, and it makes her feel really bad. So she tells David Archuleta she actually has to go to prom.
It was the onion bagel, wasn't it?
No, you're fine. Just maybe next duet, you might want to try a nice little, lemon bar.
And I don't know how, but she has enough time to get fully ready, makeup and everything, and go back to Aaron's house, and then give him enough time to get the tuxedo ready. Guys, this is not enough time. Prom is a lot of work. And then they get pictures together, knowing that they're actually gonna go together, and that's kind of the end. We don't really get to see the prom, we just see them get ready for the prom, and that's it. One last scene with Rico and Jackson, and it's funny. And that's kind of the prom episode.
Oh no, I just gave up the secret!
What secret? She announced it at a Ray's final farewell concert 50 years ago!
I definitely love the moral dilemma Miley has to go through, like starting out as so desperate, then to actually getting exactly what she wanted, but then reverting back to her natural not wanting it. All around a really good episode. So in Once, Twice, 3 Times Afraidy, Miley hates the fact that Lily and Oliver are going out, and the lovely couple thinks that Miley should have a boyfriend.
Need a boyfriend.
I'm on it. Yo, single dudes, listen up. I got a perfectly good girl here, good height to weight ratio, not hard to look at. Let's start the bidding at a whoa!
So they set up a blind date for her, thinking that she cannot be alone. Oh my gosh, guys. But the guy is still upset about losing his ex and not ready to date her. Oh my gosh, it's an embarrassing date.
It's just my ex-girlfriend's name was Jenny. And I haven't heard that name since the breakup.
All because of Lily and Oliver, who profusely apologize. Later, after a Hannah Montana concert, Miley meets Tracy's fake boyfriend, which she calls a faux beau.
So in love. Oh my gosh, Tracy, that's genius. So is Adam available to fake date a friend of mine who's single by choice and wishes her friends would get off her back because she doesn't need a guy to complete her?
And is like, wow, that's actually a genius idea, getting people off your back by paying somebody to be a fake boyfriend. And she gets super into that idea. So she ends up asking him to be her fake beau. As they go on a date, Miley is trying to put on this facade that she has a boyfriend.
Oh, Miley, we're so happy for you, aren't we, Ollie Pop?
Is the low-fat apple crumble as good as the regular apple crumble?
And gets a phone call that apparently he can't show up, so he's gonna send his roommate instead. Oh no, can you imagine how this is about to go?
Excuse me, Miley?
Uh-huh.
Hey, I'm Ralphie Narducci, your, boyfriend for the night.
The guy sends his obnoxious roommate, Ralphie, who is rude and polite. I like don't know how to even describe him. He's like this Italian mobster that doesn't have any manners.
I got a hot girlfriend, and so do you, my friend. Pound it.
Oh! And it's very complicated, and as a viewer, you're like, how in the world would Miley explain that these two have a connection? Like, they are not fitting in at all. Although Miley tries to make it work, and it really doesn't. So Miley is like, okay, I can't keep up this facade, and asks him to fake break up with her, so that way she can get out of it.
His parents are going to England.
Oh, wow! What a shame.
Tell me about it. I don't even know how to speak English.
And they try to perform a breakup, but Ralphie keeps not going through with the facade.
You know what? I'm not moving.
What?
I'm not giving up what we have without a fight. Look at you. You're a wreck.
Nope, I'm not. See, I'm really... Yep, I pulled myself together.
Next thing you know, he's asking for all the different things in Miley's house. Oh my god, this guy is literally robbing Miley. It's so funny because you don't expect having a fake boyfriend to have these kind of consequences, but it becomes like a full-on robbery. Lily and Oliver still seem pretty confused, but eventually he asks for way too many things, and Miley just loses the facade. She kicks him out of the house and has to explain to Lily and Oliver what happened. They explain that they just wanted her to be happy like they are, but she's more focused on maybe somebody coming along that is actually good for her. And as long as she has her friends, she's good, which is a great moral of this episode. I feel like it's definitely normal to have the social pressure of you need to have a boyfriend. And Miley going so far to appease her friends shows a lot of her character. Although I really don't think she needed to go this far, but it definitely makes for an entertaining episode for sure. Meanwhile, Jackson actually gets injured because of something Rico does.
From you.
And when Rico tries to make peace by offering a bunch of money, Jackson's new friend, which is like, why does Jackson keep having like new friends at different moments?
Thanks to you, for the next 6 weeks, I'm gonna need help just to pick my nose.
Oh, don't look at me, dude.
Just go away.
Okay.
Not you.
And Jackson like rips up the check in front of Rico.
I take this check to the bank, I get arrested for forgery, get sent to jail, and the last words I hear before I go up the river are,
He just like doesn't believe that Rico would ever do something nice for him, but then it turns out to be true all along. Rico was trying to be nice, and Jackson just straightforward rejected him the whole time.
Never!
It was real, wasn't it?
Totally real, good as cash.
Him and Rico really jump back and forth between like, one of them wants to be friends, one of them tries, and then it just kind of falls through by the other one using each other's weakness against each other. Like, I don't know, their relationship is very toxic. And it's sad because there's moments where Rico says that he doesn't have anybody else. Jackson definitely doesn't either. Like, he's been recycling all these friends for multiple episodes now. Okay, so season 3, episode 16 is Jake, Another Little Piece of My Heart, which is one of my favorite episodes of all time of Hannah Montana. We start out with Hannah having a concert in Vegas. It's her, Lily, and Robbie Ray checked into a hotel. And what's even more surprising is her friend Tracy's here. Why is Tracy here without telling her? Uh-oh, she announces she's about to get married. Miley already has a problem with this because of how young she is, and it's even more complicated when we find out it's Jake Ryan.
Something, say what?
So Miley had a couple episodes with Jake in the first season until he left, then he came back, and then he left again. And this is his first appearance in the new season, a few episodes before he could be the one. So he's getting married to Tracy, and Miley has an issue with it. She tries to make it not relevant to their past relationship, because it'll just seem like she's jealous, but she harps on the fact that they are way too young to get married. Jake is kind of dismissive and doesn't really know what to say about it, and just kind of deflects it back to her. I like his haircut in this season. It's definitely better than the second season one. And it's like, how could these guys maintain a friendship with all their relationship issues? Like, it's really hard to be friends with an ex, let alone watch them get married. And it's like, are you really friends if she was not invited to the wedding? Yeah, probably. In the B-plot, Rico has started a camp called Camp Rico. He interrupts Jackson on his date, asking for help with his camp. Unfortunately for Jackson, he wants to impress his date, so he says yes, taking on this whole troop. Next thing you know, he's leading this troop the entire time. Then we get back to Miley freaking out about Jake and Tracy getting married. She's witnessing how stubborn Tracy is, and I bet Hannah feels like this is a piece of her life.
I hate you.
All right, if that's the way you feel. Bye, Miley.
Bye, Jake.
And I bet Miley feels like her father in this scenario, where she's like disapproving. Hannah tells Tracy not to get married, grabbing her wedding dress. And Jake tries to pull her back. It's kind of like a metaphor for where she should be going. And once Miley breaks a nail, it gets personal as they head off to get married. Miley's taking this like way too far, if you ask me. Like, feelings for Jake or not, this is like a boundary issue. She has one last chance to stop it.
By the state of Nevada.
Stop the wedding! They're too young! My bad.
She shows up at the venue before Tracy and Jake get there, which I don't know how she gets there first, and asks the officiant for his costume. Meanwhile, Rico is trying to get Jackson to blow up balloons for the kids, but Jackson is like completely beyond himself, even going outside into a storm to try to get them out of here.
I think the rain stopped. You kids can totally go back to the beach now. Yippee! Come on, let's go! Yeah! It's barely a trickle. Come on!
So then Miley meddles with the wedding ceremony as they're stalling to get Robbie Ray to interrupt. The stalling doesn't work, and Tracy and Jake say they're gonna go somewhere else. Miley tackles them, only to learn that this all was a prank? This is a prank TV show, and Hannah Montana was the victim. Jake laughs at it, thinking it was all in good fun, but Miley's a little annoyed, which I would be super annoyed, especially how embarrassing she was acting in this. Jake and her share a kiss, and it's officially not over yet. I'm so glad they had him come back for this next episode, because otherwise this would be an annoying one-off.
Whoa. Whoa.
So Miley Hurt the Feelings of a Radio Star is a parody on the title Video Killed the Radio Star, which is an old song about how the implementation of visual media took away all this audio-only world, which is a really interesting timepiece.
Oh, see, that's great and awesome. Grawsome. Starting a new trad. Oh, see, that's trend and fad. Trad.
So Oliver starts his own radio show when one of the radio hosts on Radio Star has to leave one day.
10 seconds. Let's see what you got, wing ding 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 boy.
But I don't even know what to press.
You'll do great.
He's at first really awkward and cringy, but Miley soon helps him out, and bam, the radio show becomes super popular.
If you're in a stew or feeling blue, don't boo-hoo. Let us talk to you.
Because that's what we do.
Here at the KT Morning Zoo.
And the two have like such a good dynamic, and this is going great for Oliver. He hasn't had a lot of wins, which is not surprising. And later, Hannah actually has a concert, but traffic is so packed up. And then another time, Hannah has a pet audition to do. So essentially, Miley's trying to keep up with this new task of hosting a radio show, but cannot keep up with it because of Hannah Montana responsibilities.
Breaks like this don't just happen. I mean, this could change my whole life.
Well,
please.
She even falls asleep in front of all the puppies as she's getting cranky, and it's really funny watching Robbie and Lily kind of point out how bad she's going through it.
Don't you even bother calling. Do not call this phone. This dog is mine. Mine, mine, mine.
But Miley just wants to support Oliver. Like, clearly he can't do it on his own, and you know how Oliver gets when he feels unsuccessful. He gets depressed and leaves. The next day, the newspaper says Hannah howls, and Miley is completely embarrassed for how she was during the puppy thing. She is completely overbooked, and she's actually seeing the consequence of it.
Spread my butter way too thin, and now my toast is dry. Yep, not enough to go around. Way too...
I get it.
Even I get it.
You do?
Yeah. Your dad doesn't have enough butter, duh.
Oliver says that they want to do the radio show every Sunday and that it means so much to him. So this is why Miley is going to be going through a lot now, because she really wants to see her friend happy. But in the end, Oliver says that the radio show didn't have a lot of Miley fans as much as Oliver fans, which is kind of hard to believe from my end. So it seems like he could still do it without her. And I don't know, this is a weird ending.
Howdy, everybody. That was me, Miley, pretending to be a pretty girl named Lily.
And in the subplot, Rico thinks that he's making too much money because his dad actually wants to sell Rico's surf shop.
I have to lose money.
So lose money.
I can't. It goes against every fiber of my being.
So Rico puts Jackson in charge because he knows he'll screw up. And he does so by selling rotten hamburgers, and his customers all end up throwing up. This is a really disgusting plot line.
My burger tastes funny.
Brilliant! Bad meats! No one's gonna want to buy this place now! Congratulations. Listen, Jackson, you're never gonna get the best of me.
I definitely think Radio Star is a parody of Radio Disney. It is nice to have another Oliver episode with Hannah trying to keep her cool in order to maintain his emotional regularity, which is kind of random. Like, I don't know why Oliver is such a toxic friend. I mean, it's hard to be comedic relief and also really responsible, I guess. But I like that a lot of the episode takes place in the radio booth, and seeing Oliver, like, have this hobby is really cool. All in all, this is a really fun episode. So when He Could Be the One came out on Disney Channel, the promotions really hyped it up because we saw that Brooke Shields and Cody Lindley would be in this episode again. And Cody Lindley is the guy who plays Jake Ryan, and Brooke Shields plays Miley's mom. Definitely a cool reason to find these two characters to come together when Miley has to make a really intense decision about who she wants to be with. Miley tries but fails to tell her dad that she's dating Jake Ryan again, so Robbie winds up believing that she's hiding something from him. To make her father thankful for Jake, she pretends that like her bad boy bandmate, Jesse, but gets in over her head and she starts to actually develop feelings for Jesse. The first episode is more focused on Miley's relationship with her dad and Jake Ryan being this big issue in their relationship. And there's that whole bad boy trope where it's like, of course you don't want your daughter being with a bad boy, but then the fact that she actually falls for him just shows like her age and immaturity. Like, of course that changes a lot of things. In the end, she tells Jesse that there's just something between her and Jake that's special, and the episode kind of ends with her dad accepting it, and we move on to Miley's real issue, which is choosing between Jake and Jesse. It already feels a little episodic by the end of the first part because of the fact that everything with Robbie Ray was resolved. It makes it seem like the momentum didn't necessarily build, and even though we kind of foreshadowed something that's going to be more important in the second episode, it still feels like two standalone episodes that just had a recurring plot or idea. But I want to believe that it's not just a gimmick that they're doing a two-part episode, and it's actually really for a good storytelling reason. In the second part, she's trying to decide between Jesse and Jake, and it's really complicated, and some of the best songs are used in this because the third Hannah Montana album is definitely one of my favorites, so I love listening to the song. Miley and Jesse share a moment, and then Miley and Jake share another moment, and it just becomes harder and harder for Miley to make a decision between the two people she has a history with. I mean, she barely has a history with Jesse, but you know what I mean. She sits on her back deck in the most famous scene that's in all the promos as she's looking at two pictures of the boys, which, why do you have two pictures of teenage boys in your room, Miley? I knew you were like lovesick, but not this much. Robbie offers her comforting advice, which kind of brings us back to the first part, which feels a little bit more conclusive. I like that it's called back from the first episode, makes it feel more necessary. Miley seeks advice from her mom and is able to actually make a decision. Miley ends up telling Jesse that she chooses Jake because of how much they have together and how special it is. Robbie accepts their relationship after confirming with Miley that she made the right choice, and it's up to her instead, which is a really good plot for a teenager episode. Like, I definitely feel like the stakes were high enough. Jackson and Rico have a dance number this entire episode and keep coming back at really random parts of it, which is, I'm kind of here for it. Although it does feel like, especially with summarizing the plot, that this is used just to fill up time. These shows should really use the 40 minutes super cautiously, and I wish they spent their time with it a little more. Jake has so far returned in every season, this being the third time, so at this point we know it's going to be a consistent thing. But I definitely think Achy Jakey Heart was a little stronger despite the fact that that was broken up and this one wasn't. But you could tell why they tried to make it one part, because it's like very clear that this is one plot line going on for too long, and not a lot changed and not a lot of momentum built until actually Miley has that final decision of choosing one of them. But there isn't necessarily like a lot of time with Jesse, or even like a lot of time with Jake. I feel like Jake has only had like 4 or 5 episodes at this point. I mean, I do feel like that's more than most shows would be to develop a relationship with teens, and especially being like these shows are usually 60-90 episodes, so of course 5 episodes is actually a bigger chunk than normal. That would essentially be the equivalent to 20 episodes in a larger sitcom like The Big Bang Theory or any of these other shows. So the Hannah Montana Superstitious Girl is season 3 episode 20. So they docked in Hawaii on the SS Tipton. Apparently they're stuck there for 5 days because Lily can't find something. Miley says that she's a professional and is able to keep track of everything except for her mother's locket.
Mama's lucky anklet? Don't go.
She starts to freak out because apparently with that necklace, she has good luck, and now that it's gone, everything is gonna go wrong. Mr. Mosby runs in telling her to get ready for the concert because apparently there's a helicopter waiting for them. Lily tells her that nothing bad's gonna happen, and it cuts to them coming back from the rehearsal. Apparently Hannah had the worst sound check, and everything is going wrong. She even finds the rat in her bathroom that apparently has escaped. But like already we don't see Selena Gomez, the entire Wizards cast is gone, so it seems like this is a standalone Hannah Montana episode. So I don't know why they're doing this crossover. This was an issue with the first crossover where the Hannah one felt so separated from the rest of them. Like if I were a fan of this special, I probably would have turned it off by now because I don't get to see many of the cast that we wanted to see. I mean, we still get to see the Sweet Life on Deck cast, but it's only because they're passerby. She continues to look for her anklet, hoping that she'll be able to save this concert. Miley tries to retrace her steps, and it's also revealed that Robbie's on the ship, which is exciting. She runs to check on Robbie, who is super seasick and upside down on his bed. That's a funny trope. He gives her the idea that maybe she left it in her sock.
Once I get it on again, no more bad looking.
But when they go back to her room, it turns out that the entire room is clean. Meanwhile, in the B plot, Jackson and Oliver are hanging out in the empty house because they have it to themselves. This guy delivers a really big package, and Jackson is super excited to see what's inside. Oliver encourages him to open it and figure out what's in it, but, you know, they try not to do that. Robbie tells him that the package better be sealed by the time they get home, so they cannot open it. Jackson attempts to use a steamer to carefully open the box and be able to reseal it, but I don't know if that's gonna work. Meanwhile, Miley and Lily are still looking for this anklet. London tries to take ownership of this anklet, claiming that everything on this boat technically belongs to her.
Oh, all right. Look, I'll just hold it for safekeeping till the owner shows with the receipt and 2 forms of ID.
Turns out it wasn't Hannah's sock. Miley runs downstairs in a disguise, but never takes off her wig. I don't know why we can't see Miley in this. And they run to approach London, only to be interrupted by Zach, who almost gives away her identity in public.
It's the other one that's got the girlfriend, right? For her sake, I hope so.
He does with these characters. London is admiring the necklace when Hannah runs up to ask for it back.
That anklet belongs to me. Fine. I'll need to see a receipt and 2 forms of ID.
When London realizes that it's not real gold, she throws it off the balcony, and Hannah is freaking out. Miley insinuates that Lily should jump in and get it, and that would literally kill her. I don't know why you're suggesting that, Miley.
Miley, it's gotta be like 60 feet. Right. You won't have to give me anything for my birthday. Miley? Ever. Miley, fine.
Her bad luck continues as a storm finally comes up and even blows off her wig. I wish this was a bigger issue. So Miley has to start replacing her wig with one of Lola's, and it looks hideous on her. She thinks this is a sign and that she's not really meant to do the concert. Miley attempts to dye this hair, and it turns out disgustingly seaweedy. In the B plot, we go back to Jackson and Oliver trying to open this box. They really can't do it, and even their hair is messed up because of it. Jackson says that it's finally time to hire a professional. Then we get Rico coming on into this. Seems like he knows how to open it.
Unlike your combined IQs, it's high.
How much?
If it's a big robot, I get to play with it first.
Deal.
But you promised if it was a robot, I could play with it first.
Do you want it open or not?
I want it open.
They're surprised when a giant alarm goes off and this inflatable bouncy house takes over the entire house. So they got their comeuppance. I don't know what's going on with this B plot though. Can you imagine these poor actors being told that they're a part of this 3-part crossover, but only in the B plot, and they're going to be on the same set, and nothing is going to be changed literally at all? It's still not even a good B plot. I mean, Hannah Montana, sometimes their B plots can be really off the rails. And it's not fair that that even had to happen in this special. I mean, Hannah Montana already didn't interact with the Wizards or the Sweet Life on Deck enough, so why is this the B-plot? With the green wig not working, Miley is finally given up, just in time for Cody and Bailey to come give her flowers. This is it. These two actors came all the way here just to be in this one scene, and it's like less than a minute. I feel so bad for them because they wanted to be a part of the Hannah Montana world, and they were given this 20-second scene of just Miley saying that the concert's canceled. Not fair.
Is this going to affect the after party?
Finally, Robbie Ray goes out to talk to Miley, who is just sulking on the sky deck. Robbie gives Miley a backup wig, and the sun finally comes out. The storm is over, and he's basically telling her that it's about the mindset. Hannah is finally in a good mood and ready to go to her concert.
Hey, what are you guys sitting around here for? Don't you have tickets to my concert? And the after party? Let's go.
She calls everybody on the boat to join her, and it's finally positive. And the rest of the episode is just her concert.
I wouldn't say no to a little warm-up hug.
Okay, I'm gonna go before I hurl barf cubes. Hey, Ryan, wait up! If you like Colorado, you are gonna love Montana.
So off-screen, Miley gets in an injury while there's a skiing accident. She ends up in the hospital, which is a insane way to start the episode.
I apologize for my boyfriend, Mr. Stewart. He is a work in progress.
Go, L-Train, go!
Yeah, I know what you mean. He's he's just a piece of work.
Even though she's kind of passed out, she can actually hear what her friends are saying.
Could you be any more insensitive?
And even hears Oliver say to her that she loves her when everybody's out of the room.
I love you.
Now you see, that wasn't... Best friend's boyfriend say what?
And she's like, oh my god, this is terrible. Like, he's dating Lily and he's in love with me. It's really shocking. When she comes home to tell Lily that he doesn't love her, even though she's in love with him, Lily starts to cry.
The girl should never say it first. It's against the rules. Can't give a boy that kind of power. You do that and you'll set back the women's movement 50 years. What if he's in love with someone else because they're, I don't know, adorable or something?
And it's really sad, but I don't know why we're going off of Miley being a ghost in this. Like, why do we trust this? Miley tries a lot of things to calm her down, like bringing tissues, offering a cold pack, and building a castle out of popsicle sticks. Then Robbie accidentally says exactly what Oliver meant.
You told her Oliver was in love with you?
In love with you? No. I cleverly avoided that until now.
And Lily gets really angry and decides to get a picture of her with another guy just to turn it on him. Oh my god, this is a weird solution to this problem.
I'm Gil.
I'm actually talking about my friend over there.
The circus clown?
She is not a... Yes, the circus clown.
Then turns out that Oliver was trying to practice saying it to Lily and that he really does love Lily, walking in on her trying to cheat.
Okay.
I can close my eyes, right?
Just do it.
What the?
Yep, that's right. She's kissing someone else. She's moved on. You cannot hurt her anymore.
So now this is all Miley's fault. Even unconscious, she managed to create such a big problem.
You know, it's really nice to hug in front of Miley without hearing
Blah. Blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Although Lily and Oliver are initially angry that Miley nearly broke them up, they talk it out and they realize that everything is okay. In the end, Robbie's about to eat some pie when Jackson hears what he's doing and takes the pie. Then Robbie decides to photograph it as next year's Christmas card.
Please, please, please let this be a dream.
This episode is really trippy because it's having an out-of-body experience and referencing this one movie that they keep saying, which I've never seen. But it's really cool to see Hannah out of the element and being mostly in a hospital throughout this episode. Although when it's time to cheat, I feel like that's when it's a weird plot. Like, why would you fight cheating with more cheating? I don't know. I mean, overall, it's a very interesting episode. Okay, so in this episode, Miley is interviewed by a radio show while Jackson argues with Robbie Ray about Malibu Community College. This causes Miley to make a remark about Jackson to the interviewer, although nobody had ever heard of Hannah having a brother.
You have not lived until you've seen him pick the lint out of his navel, sniff it, and then put it back.
No, that's not true. I don't always put it back.
Miley continues to make fun of Jackson during the interview until Robbie forces her to tell the interviewer she doesn't actually mean it. Unfortunately, the damage is done, and the interview ends before Miley has a chance to correct it. Another Miley and Jackson conflict episode with Hannah Montana being the centerpiece for it.
Ah, revenge is a dish best served stinky.
Jackson?
Nothing, what we call trim.
So Jackson attempts to prank Miley, but is stopped by Robbie, who points out that Miley regrets making fun of Jackson, like she's sleeping and she's sucking her thumb, which means she's innocent. She really didn't mean for that to go the way it did.
Go ahead.
I shouldn't have said that stuff about you on the radio. I was just trying to be funny, and I'm sorry that I embarrassed you.
Jackson ends up forgiving her on the condition that Hannah takes him to her friend Tracy's party that night, and he could impress this girl he wants to see. Hannah and Lola arrive at the party, which is a Tracy spa theme, which I wish I did this for my Sweet 16.
All your emotions are tied to pressure points in your feet, you know.
Oh, come on, Tracy. You don't really believe that, do you?
It looks really fun and relaxing. Hannah discovers that somebody has told the press that she sucks her thumb, which she does do in her sleep when she feels guilty, and Hannah, of course, immediately thinks it's Jackson.
Helga will give you a facial you'll never forget.
I'll pay your money. You'll betcha.
She makes it look like he has this long piece of boogers coming out of his nose, and it's kind of gross, and he ends up throwing it at Mia. It's a super embarrassing moment, and Miley's just attempting to get revenge at Jackson because she assumed he was the problem. I don't know why Miley keeps doing this. She keeps assuming she knows the issue, acts based on that. Like, in the last episode, she tried to get Lily to cheat on Oliver because she was convinced that he said something to her. Like, Miley's toxicity is super consistent. Like, it's definitely a nice theme.
And she was like, I know best friend stuff about her. And I was like, I know way better best friend stuff about her. Like, she still sucks her thumb, and I knew it was wrong, but I was talking to you about this stuff, sort of like, now, stop, now, done, sorry, now.
So Hannah yells at Jackson for telling the press about her thumb sucking, and then when he denies it, Lola confesses that she accidentally said it when she was speaking to Tracy, and it slipped. And now Jackson is super angry because Hannah blamed him and drives off in Hannah's car. Miley drove here with you. You can't not do that. Meanwhile, in the most useless subplot I've probably ever seen on this show, Rico asks Robbie to sign a Robbie Ray album for him, but when Robbie realizes it's to impress a girl who likes country music, he sees why Rico's there.
Except for one tragic character flaw.
She likes country music, doesn't she?
Loves it!
He asks Robbie to teach him how to be a country line dancer in order to impress a girl. Why is everybody motivated by impressing a girl? I feel like this is not 100% teenage issues sometimes. Robbie forces Rico to embarrass himself in front of the whole beach by loudly proclaiming, "Ye doggy, I love that country music." And I can't tell if this is cultural appropriation. So Robbie actually teaches Rico the electric slide, which Robbie adds his own, Rico adding his own Latin flair to it. Robbie tells Rico he needs to get in touch with his inner cowboy, which he does so by riding a fake horse. Rico successfully walks like a cowboy, and then because of his soreness from the fake horse, successfully dances like one. And he's really good at it. And it's really weird because it's like we don't get a lot of Rico and Robbie Ray B-plots, but it is a cool concept that they're coming together because of Robbie's fame. Like, it definitely ties into the main premise of the show. And it definitely justifies that Rico could have been in the movie a lot more. Like, I don't know why he was suppressed in that thing. Meanwhile, Jackson is ignoring Miley, who explains that she should embarrass herself in front of her crush so Jackson would be even. After accomplishing this, Jackson still doesn't forgive her. Miley purposely humiliates herself again, and it's funny because she always thinks she could just immediately make up for it, but really it takes a little bit more digging, Miley, to get somebody to forgive you.
The chili, the ozone.
Forget it, you're impossible.
Jackson admits it wasn't embarrassing him that hurt him, it's the fact that Miley thought he dragged their problems into the Hannah world. And Miley apologizes, and that's kind of how they resolve it, which I feel like it's a little anticlimactic, the forgiveness part. Like, I don't know if she completely earned it yet.
I never should have thought that you would.
Okay, we're cool.
It just took an argument for them to get to a better place. I mean, but it is a good episode, and I love seeing the whole spa theme going on. Jackson and Miley having this public issue is a great sequel to some of these older episodes with the public believing Jackson and Miley are dating and him becoming her manager. Like, there's just a lot of callbacks that make the show a lot more true to its original intentions, and I like this a lot. Later, Robbie finds Rico, in which he told him that his date actually stood him up, which I don't feel bad. Rico, you lied to her anyway. Like, what does it matter? Robbie and Rico then electric slide on the beach in the most pointless dance number I've ever seen. And Robbie actually backs out and a girl joins Rico, and that's kind of a cute, happy ending. So this is the first episode where Jackson is now attending Malibu Community College, so it's kind of continuing his education journey. The events of the Hannah Montana movie were mentioned in the beginning, and this is probably the most direct it gets in the rest of the third season episodes.
College man in the house!
Hello? Can't you see I'm in the middle of doing an interview?
Hello, in the middle of not caring.
But it's enough to keep the continuity alive, so I like it. Then for the next episode, we have Bad to the Chrome. So Robbie and the kids are trying to convince the stubborn Meemaw, which, yay, we have Meemaw back again. I love this character, and she was also somebody slighted in the movie, so obviously it's nice to see her again.
Hold on, Mama. Let's get your bags.
Maybe I should stop using Uncle Earl's homemade gas.
She comes all the way from Tennessee in her old, rundown car, Loretta.
Every time I break it up, all she does is tell me I'm fat. Not one single word about how great my hair looks.
In for her brand new car, but instead she flees from the porch angrily.
Wait, there's more.
Oh, no, there ain't. How could you?
It was her idea.
Miley tries to talk to her, but Meemaw snaps and leaves to walk on the beach.
I can still hear your daddy shouting, "Don't leave me," as I shove him out the door on his first day of kindergarten.
So Miley tries to get Loretta back, although it's way too late. She was apparently smashed into bits by a grumpy, cheap junkyard owner.
Now this, I call the problem.
Fortunately, the Stewarts find a car that looks like Loretta, and they do a series of gross and loud attempts to bring the old Loretta to life, and they like smash the front hood with a sledgehammer, and Robbie puts his butt on it.
Grandpa's hair tonic. And ketchup for in between the seats.
And recreate a smell of Grandpa's hair tonic. Bottle of ketchup, orange soda, and cat pee. It's a ridiculously detailed scene for no reason.
Oh, I missed you.
Sorry we tried to separate you two.
Oh, you were just doing what you thought was right, even though you were wronger than tofu bacon.
Even though thrilled, Mama acts like she didn't notice that they just duplicated everything she did. She apologizes that she's sorry for snapping and chooses the new car instead, which is really sweet. She accepts the gift.
And now, thanks to you all, I have another one. Sweetie, you're not crying, are you?
No, just
That cat did a good job.
And apparently they installed a GPS that talks to her, and it's an accurate portrayal of a grandmother driving a new car.
Turn right.
Okay, I got it.
In 40 feet. Turn right.
You gonna do this all the way back to Tennessee?
In 35 feet. Turn right.
Oh, shut up!
So episode 24 we have Judge Me Tender, which is a parody of Elvis Presley's song Love Me Tender. We see America's Got Talent's parody show, America's Top Talent. Oliver auditions for it, while Hannah is actually one of the judges. Oh, this is an exciting opening to an episode, like thrown right into the action.
Kinda like token. You know, for just hearing this name the first time today, I think that's pretty darn clever.
And the guy who plays Mr. Sheffield on The Nanny is playing a parody of Simon from American Idol, and it's so funny. His portrayal is so good.
I have to say, I find myself completely appalled by how much I like that. Well done.
His performance is outstanding, and he becomes an overnight hit, even being famous at school and everything. It's just weird because Oliver was shown singing really horribly at the end of Song Sung Bad from season 2, but in You Gotta Lose This Job, he actually showed that he's good at it.
Hey, babe. Fans want to take pictures of me by the ocean, so, I'll call you, babe. To the beach!
You called me babe. Twice! Ow! 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 Sorry. I was just trying to rub it in.
To what? My bone?
Meanwhile, Lily is starting to get a little bit more lonely and annoyed at his success. Miley's bangs look really good in this episode, though. It kind of reminds me of the beginning of the season. Oliver becomes super obnoxious, which is not that surprising. Like, we get hints of Oliver being a diva many times in the series.
What about Lily?
I know, she's been acting kind of weird lately.
She's been weird?
Yeah, and it's kind of been harshing my mood.
It's weird that Oliver's chewing gum, since in the episode Miley Get Your Gum, it was revealed that Oliver has a trauma with it? So, like, what? Lily begs Miley to give him a bad score so that way he won't be sucked away by internet fame.
Good job.
Well, once in a lifetime. I mean, that is a little dramatic, don't you think? I mean, I'm sure if this doesn't work out, there'll be plenty more opportunities.
But she ends up not being able to. She needs to tell the truth. Oliver is actually really good.
So it's up to you, HM. Send Mr. Oaken on?
Or put an end to his career right here, right now.
She returns home to find Lily sad that she's basically lost him at this point. And this is a really good episode exploring the dynamics of their relationship. Like, this is why it's so much better than Freddie and Sam. Oliver does the right thing and returns home to talk to Lily, telling her that they will still be together, which is really sweet and a good ending.
Lily, I'm so sorry I've been such a jerk. Yeah, I got caught up in all the attention, but Miley's right. None of this means anything to me if I can't share it with you.
I like that we have another episode about fame taking over somebody that's not Miley. Like, Oliver is definitely a good case for this, and it's gearing us up for the finale when he's actually really good at singing, and we'll get to that. And then Jackson's actually on America's Top Talent, which doesn't make sense, but it's really funny to see him dressed as this character again.
Not so typical, way too smart to be waiting around. Tai Chi practice and slow-mo champion. I can fix the flat on your car. Rocking out wherever we are.
Overall, a good Lily and Oliver episode, a great Hannah Montana moral episode. Mixing the double life in is so perfect. Meanwhile, Jackson gets a ticket for driving, which has Robbie Ray furious. He assigns him to clean out the attic, which turns out to be disgusting. Why is just multiple plots of this show Jackson cleaning out a disgusting part of the house? Like, this is weird. One of his funniest jokes in this entire show is him in the attic, though, when he says this.
Would I be up here if my juggling career had taken off? I think not. Of course I'm no good. I never get a chance to practice. 'Cause I'm always being punished.
Jackson Rod Stewart!
It wasn't me. It was a young boy with 3 balls and a dream.
It turns out that the ticket was actually meant for Robbie, and Robbie's the one stuck cleaning the attic, and that's literally the only plot.
I've been way too hard on you.
3 scenes, and that's all we got. The next episode kind of reminds me of the Hannah Montana movie. It's Can't Get Home to You Girl, season 3, episode 25. The whole premise is Miley is trying to get back home to Malibu for Lily's birthday. I guess her and Robbie Ray were out for a concert, and they're trying to get home. But there's an issue. Apparently there's a storm not allowing them to fly. so she won't be home in time for Lily's birthday.
But don't worry, I'll be home in a couple of hours. So until then, go to my house, watch some TV, and help yourself to Daddy's private stash of Fudgy Buddies.
What? She's not family.
See, this is weird in the time context because Lily's birthday was in the Hannah Montana movie, and it's also, like, I guess this means this is an entire year later, which isn't super unnatural. Like, it's the end of season 3, we're about to get to the senior year, okay? I buy that she's 17 now.
Due to mechanical difficulties, Flight 64 to Los Angeles has been canceled.
Mousy voice, ticket sale lady say, what?
So Robbie and Miley meet a truck driver and actually hitch a ride with him to try to get back as quick as possible.
Now, I don't mean to be a bad host,
But get out!
Meanwhile, Jackson is stuck with entertaining Lily for her birthday. Miley really wants it to be special, but she can't be there, so she has Jackson help, and it makes it so much worse. Eventually, the car breaks down, and they have to take a motorcycle, which is so cheesy on the green screen. We get a visit from Freddie's mom from iCarly, which is as if these two shows did not cross over enough.
Unless you have a plane in your backyard, we'll never make it in time.
You sure you don't want to sit up here with me, Mr. Hottie McYummy Pants?
She becomes like a Robbie Ray fan and tries to fly them back home, but she's way too into Robbie, hitting on him the entire time, making him so uncomfortable. And why is this woman so good at being creepy?
And pick up, pick up, pick up. If you look to your right, you'll see Hoover Dam. And if you look to your left, you'll see an attractive single woman gazing at you adoringly.
Like, she's so into it. Such a great actress. Eventually, Rico tries to get Jackson to come to a concert with him, fully leaving Lily alone.
All alone on your birthday? There's nothing worse than that. Come on, we gotta beat the crowd, Jackson, let's go!
The helicopter nosedives trying to get them home, and I'm terrified. If I were Miley in this helicopter, I would think my life was over. This is scary. They eventually do get home, and it's still Lily's birthday, but at what cost? Like, they just went on the adventure of their lives, and nobody's home. Turns out that Lily actually did go with Jackson to the game and had the best birthday ever, making everything okay in the end.
I wasn't about to abandon her on her special day like some people.
Then we get a really uncomfortable section of Robbie Ray performing R&B. The truck driver and the creepy lady come back and dance with him, and why is this necessary? I love that we do get to see this actress from iCarly in this show, though. It's really good. And this episode could have been the movie. Like, honestly, I love the concept. It's funny watching Miley and Robbie, like, go on this giant road trip. I guess it wouldn't be interesting to see for an hour and a half if it were to be a feature film. But I like going from one place to another. Like, field trip type movies where it's a big adventure is always good. But I like that they managed to fit it into an episode. Like, it makes it action-packed, fast-paced.
We just blew a tire. Oh, good. I thought it was me.
And unique from what it usually is. Which, we're getting to the end of season 3, and the episodes are starting to feel a little more derivative. Like, as if they're just expanding upon older plots they did with them slightly older, and then also branching off into random things, like having Mama's broken car, and Miley getting home for Lily's birthday. Like, I feel like I'm losing some of their ideas here, but it is just so far into the end of the 3rd season, like, why would they not run out of ideas?
Jackson, I knew you wouldn't leave me alone on my birthday!
Actually, I forgot my wallet.
And actually, it takes a cool turn in this next episode. Come Sail Away is a parody of the song Come Sail Away by Styx. This one kind of reminds me of when Miley was trying to be Indiana Jones. Like, there's a lot of parts where Miley's branching out into the film world or the animation world. We have a special guest star, Fred, in this, who plays a talented voice actor.
She's climbing to the top of the barn again. She's trying to learn to fly.
And it's not a super exciting role for him. He's not that funny. He's just more like a Hollywood actor in this. The whole premise is that Miley's gotten a role playing a duck in this animated movie, but she's so terrible at it. Because of course, she's not a voice actress. Like, why would she? She does this really cringy duck-like voice that just doesn't work for anybody ever.
I know exactly how you feel. I had to do the voice of a duck once, so I hired a duck coach.
A duck coach.
He's amazing.
She gets advice that she needs to actually be around an animal to get better at the voice, that it'll come naturally if she just spends time with a duck. And comes to the recording studio super prepared. She's like trying to overcompensate for the fact that she knows she's not doing well.
Just you wait, Triple B. Wait till you hear that duck voice explode out of me.
She tells Robbie that she ended up quitting the movie, and he kind of makes fun of her because he's like, you only tried for like 24 hours. Like, that's not a full attempt.
That takes it down to a good 55, 56 minutes you put into it.
Daddy, please, I don't need this right now.
Hey, fine. I'm not gonna sit here and rattle off some big speech or anything.
Thank you.
And Miley realizes that it's time to ask for another chance. Like, maybe it's not time to give up yet. She even runs into one of the teachers at her school with this hilarious duck-like voice, so she just imitates him, and that turns out to be perfect for her recording studio. In the B-plot, we have something super funny. Robbie Ray learns to text. So it's Jackson going on a series of dates and getting texts from Robbie Ray in like the most basic old person fashion, and it reeks so much of Boomer trying to use technology that it just does so well. I feel like we're living in an age where even the old people did catch up with technology eventually. Like, they're not as bad at texting anymore, but it is still funny to joke about. Fred didn't really play an active role in this episode. He just kind of shows up a couple times, which it sucks. It's like they're not putting him in a good position to be a funny character, or even in this episode. But it's not like the episode itself is bad, it's just that character's written kind of poorly. In the end, Miley kind of gets it right, but it doesn't work out because the voice director still doesn't think she's good. But it's still cool that she gets to end on a positive note despite not actually fulfilling the role. And I do like that Miley has a couple failed attempts. Like, she doesn't need to succeed in everything in order to learn a lesson, and that's proved in this episode. I don't know what this third plot is, but they have a C plot, and it's just Rico trying to control everybody at the beach, him and Lily butting heads in the process. They just keep giving Rico turns with all the characters. Like, it's so random.
Take a number, since when? Just take one. Fine. Hey, Rico, I'm number 6.
Number 6, your water is ready. Number 6.
The next couple episodes, we have pretty Lily-heavy themes, which isn't bad. It's just we're wrapping up the season, and I do want to get as much funny episodes in as possible. Lily's actually having her first day of work at this Subway shop. Another attempt at Lily trying to get independence, which we learned a little bit earlier in this season when she really didn't want Miley to help her get into DC. Yeah, I like that that character arc is still being continued on.
No, it's hideous!
Don't wrestle with the customers!
It's your sandwich! Ugh.
She's apparently so bad at the job, she even gets fired before the theme song comes on. Like, oh my gosh, how bad is she really at this? At the same time, Robbie's trying to hire somebody to clean Jackson's room, but everybody gets scared off and runs away, which of course I would too.
You were a Navy SEAL. You ain't gonna let a little dirt scare you off, are you?
I took out my own appendix with a wet wipe, dental floss, and a rusty spoon, and I never shed a tear. But that room, I gotta sleep with the lights on tonight.
Is Jackson's room like a character? Why is the bedroom such a central part of the show after that one episode with Louis Vuitton? Like, it just seems like this is an entire new section of the show. So overall, the premise is that Lily and Oliver need to get money because they're saving up to jointly buy a car, which is a big commitment. Lily takes on a job actually cleaning Jackson's room. Like, it's perfect. She needs money, and she could just work at Miley's since she's there all the time.
Face it, I mean, she's the only housekeeper that we're gonna find that's already immune to Jackson's stank. See? Her eyes don't even water anymore.
She cleans up the room perfectly, and Jackson's like offended. Like, he thinks it's a mess, which is so ridiculous. Guys, this looks like a really awesome room, and if I were Jackson, I'd be so grateful, but this is ridiculous. He's so upset about it. Rico gives Oliver humiliating tasks like dressing up like a penguin, cleaning the roof of the hut, and he finds joy in doing all of it. It's apparently told that Jackson doesn't work there anymore. I don't remember seeing him quit. And Oliver is just there working again. He works there on and off randomly. I don't get it. Miley doesn't want to fire Lily because she likes having her around, but she doesn't want her to work for her. Like, it's kind of weird to them. Miley doesn't want to tell her that she doesn't want her to work anymore, so she decides to go with Jackson in disguises, as they two do best.
Not yet.
Are you sure that felt like the right place? You just throw that in?
Fredo!
Sorry, boss.
And threaten the manager to hire Lily back. I don't understand why they had to dress up for this, or why it couldn't be Hannah at least. Like, what's going on here? Lily finds her there, and they pretty much have a confrontation, and it turns out they both thought it was weird that she was working at Miley's house, and she was also trying to get her job back. So in the end, they all went out for the same goals, and they were completed, which is a very sweet episode. And that kind of brings us to a deeper episode with Lily, speaking of, 28. It's The Wheels on My Bed Keep on Turning. The episode is a reference to Wheel in the Sky by Journey. So in this one, we take a step even further with Lily and Miley's relationship. Lily's mom is actually planning on moving to Atlanta, so she tells Miley she's moving, and that's it until the theme song. So we're all concerned, worried for Miley and Lily's relationship. Oliver joins to try to figure out how we can go about the situation.
The perfect way for y'all to stay together. I mean, as long as Lily's parents are cool with it.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm way too young to get married. You know, I got my whole life ahead of me.
And he kind of assumes that they're gonna have to get married now, and he's like nervous about it. And Lily gets mad, because I would too. Like, why are you so nervous? You're dating. But if you notice, Oliver's hair is completely different. Yep, he changed before the next season, which really bothers me, but whatever. Miley outright offers Lily the opportunity to stay at Miley's house, with Jackson protesting, and no surprise there.
Well, everybody that counts.
He vows to torture them. Meanwhile, the plots start getting more Rico and Robbie heavy because everybody's moving on with their lives and they're the only two attached to this beach still. The whole plot is Robbie and Rico trying to do horseshoes in a competitive way, and one accidentally hits this man's car.
You wouldn't happen to be a Hannah Montana fan, would you?
Yes, I am.
Great.
So Lily's getting more comfortable at Miley's house, and the two are a little bit more worried, kind of like the boundaries they were having in the last episode, but a little bit further. Lily moves into Miley's room, and suddenly it's completely crowded. Like, how are they gonna fit everything both of them have, including an Oliver-sized lollipop? Late at night, Miley starts getting annoyed with Lily's late-night phone calls and sharing a room.
Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Thank you.
And Jackson is pro getting rid of Lily. Lily later overhears Miley saying that she doesn't want to live with Lily anymore, and Lily is embarrassed.
I wouldn't have invited her to live with us. But now I'm stuck with her.
She overhears it and walks away. Later, when Miley comes home from a Hannah performance, she finds a note from Lily saying that she heard what she said and she's gonna get out of her way. Aww. See, this is really sad. Lily ends up living in an apartment with her father, which he was known for 2.5 Men at the time, and he's just such a good fumbly actor. Like, Miley comes all the way down to apologize, and the two get to make up.
I was 10 times more miserable when I came home today and saw that my best friend in the world was gone. Aww.
Saying that they're gonna compromise just to live together, and that's really sweet.
Are you crying in there?
No, it's me, Margaret. Margaret, get a hold of yourself.
So,
We end with one final prank on Jackson, which he turns the tables on them, and it's over. But yeah, that is essentially the last moment before we hit the season finale. And this is the official episode when Lily moves into the Stewarts, which she stays with them for the rest of the series. Spoiler alert, I guess. Episodes 29 and 30 of Hannah Montana.
Looks like Lily being here is already bringing us closer.
This close?
Of all the 2000s Hannah Montana specials went, none of them were this final. Was it supposed to be a season finale? A series finale? There's definitely parts of it that can go either way. Today I want to cover one of the most fascinating moments in TV history, the Hannah Montana Season 3 finale.
Blue jeans?
On the 2-part Hannah season finale.
Dad, I need a favor.
You want blue jeans out here, don't you? When Miley moves her horse out from Tennessee.
I am so happy that you're finally here. It's like you two have some sort of psychic connection.
So this is split into 2 parts. In part 1, Miley is experiencing vivid dreams of her cherished horse, Blue Jeans. You know, the one from the movie and the one in the show. Reminds her of back home in Crowley Corners, Tennessee. These dreams awaken a deep sense of homesickness, prompting Miley to arrange for Blue Jeans to join her in Malibu.
Come on, Blue Jeans, this is good stuff. Yeah, I'm sure it's real good. Hey, that is good.
We get to see a glimpse of Uncle Earl as he gives the phone to the horse, which is super funny because it's like, why is he so absent-minded? I'm excited that we see him once again to kind of connect us with him being a part of the family. And I like that this concept relating to Crowley Corners is unique from the movie's premise without overshadowing it at all. Like, it's not about her secret, it's about missing home and wanting to move back there, which they didn't necessarily cover in the movie. But it's cool that it kind of complements Miley's character arc. Like, she still feels for that town.
I miss him and he misses me, and Earl keeps eating all his apples, and I keep leaving him, and... Wait, how'd you know?
And it's ridiculous because, of course, Miley, like, why would you ship a horse all the way to LA? Like, this is not horse territory. Because the transition is not seamless. Blue Jeans starts showing up all these inappropriate places.
I bet he's under the sink. I mean, if I was a 1,500-pound horse, this is exactly where I would be. Blue Jeans?
But also symbolizing Miley's internal struggle between her pop star life in California and the simplicity of home. Like, this horse is just ending up everywhere.
Not exactly what I had in mind.
It ends up with a heartfelt realization that maybe she wants to return to Tennessee, and that has to do with her unrest.
Dang flabbit, Miley, I never wanted you to bring me out here in the first place.
Then why do you keep saying, I need you, Mile? I need you.
What I meant was I needed you to come back home to Tennessee.
What?
It's cool that Blue Jeans was introduced in the movie and then carried out in this episode because it's perfect. Meanwhile, Jackson is sick of Lily living in the house. Like, she walks in and he was in the bubble bath, which is, ew, good thing he double bubbled.
Then I'm old enough to get my own place.
Where you can make a bubble beard in private?
Yes, if I so desire.
So he's like, I need to live in my own apartment. And suddenly all these changes are becoming so abrupt and kind of scary, especially as a Hannah Montana fan who spent like 60 plus episodes getting used to this setup.
The beautiful sound of a Miley-free living environment.
Jackson, I know you guys have your problems, but Miley's my bud.
Get out!
But seeing him actually intend to move out is really a wake-up call, especially given all the promotions for this special.
Together.
It becomes a big mistake.
What? What happened? He ran away.
Now,
Bringing the Blue Jeans out here was the dumbest thing I ever did.
a change of heart
You said the key to being happy is never forgetting where you come from.
changes her life.
Being out there on Blue Jeans, it felt like I was back in Crowley Corners. I can't shake this feeling of wanting to go back home.
Don't miss part 1 of the unforgettable Hannah season finale.
I want to move back to Tennessee. Maybe I will never be who I was before. Lily, please don't cry.
I mean, I know it says season finale in it, but tell me this isn't dramatic. Like, I don't know if it's coming back. We don't know if something's going on behind the scenes. It's 2012. It's called Miley Says Goodbye. Like, we either think this is a finale or something bigger. See, this is where things get really crazy. Blue Jeans ends up turning into Miley, which I was not expecting.
You're what? I'm you.
And it kind of ends with her telling Robbie Ray she wants to move. In part 2, Miley is like grappling with this daunting task of telling Lily that she is going to be moving back to Tennessee. I mean, like, Lily lives with her now.
California is her home, and besides, Oliver and her dad are here. Think a little.
She just established her entire life here, and here she is turning like 17, 18, and she wants to move back home. Like, this is a big deal. The situation becomes even more complicated when Oliver shares that he has plans to go on a 6-month tour with a band.
Please? Okay.
Really?
Meanwhile, Oliver is trying to hang out with Jackson, which is pretty abnormal, and he's got a haircut. Like, this is kind of a big deal. I guess they didn't care about his pierced ears anymore. Jackson is trying to pretend like this new place is great, but it's horrible and breaking down, which I don't feel bad because it's like, your room was way worse than this. Like, remember Jackson's room? Like, I think this place is still an upgrade.
Oliver, what happened?
Nothing. Just, you know, if the landlord doesn't get here soon, you might need to build a boat.
And he finds out that Rico is the landlord. Okay, this is super sitcom-y. My neighbor is Rico? It's funny because it feels like an adult sitcom now, like Hannah Montana's about to become an adult sitcom. Like, what? I would kind of love that though. In the end, things get worse and worse for Jackson as another band starts playing upstairs. the ones that he met in Jackson's apartment. So Lily is completely screwed in this scenario when they have to tell her. They all sit down to talk and inform her of their plans, and it's really depressing.
Do you want to hit something? Maybe Oliver? Assume the position. Go ahead, Lily. Lily?
No, I understand.
Wait, you do?
This is also like the mark of Oliver's last episode as a main role, which is even more sad. As Miley's preparing for the move, she is confronted with the emotional weight of leaving her life behind in Malibu. Miley actually confides within Jackson, which is a really sweet moment. Like, they didn't have to do this, but I like that they kind of have this moment.
Look, if we move back to Tennessee, then I won't have to admit to Dad that my first decision as an adult was,
Recognizing his daughter's turmoil, Robbie Wright unveils a heartfelt surprise. As they're riding on the horses, he shows her a ranch near the beach that mirrors the tranquility of Tennessee.
I could tell you needed to be in Tennessee and California both, so found a way we could meet in the middle.
You bought a ranch in Oklahoma?
No.
This compromise allows Miley to stay connected to her country roots while continuing her journey as Hannah Montana, which is even more shocking. I remember when I was little, I was like, wait, so the show's gonna continue? Or this is still the episode? Or this is still the season finale? They have flashbacks from a lot of pivotal moments in the episodes, like Lily, Do You Want to Know a Secret? And Good Golly, Miss Dolly, for like a little nostalgic trip down memory lane, which is why I'm so convinced this is the final episode. Or the series finale, I didn't know what was going on at this time. And I can't remember if Hannah Montana Forever was announced. They decide that the family, along with Lily and Blue Jeans, can all move in there together. And they're gonna have to have Jackson too, because of his whole issues. And it's so sad because this is the last appearance of the Malibu house, but while we think we're saying goodbye to the whole series, we're only really saying goodbye to the central setting. And this is the last time we see, marking an end of an era. Toward the end of Miley Says Goodbye, we delve into the deep challenges of balancing personal desires with professional commitments. Miley's internal conflict resonates with anybody who has faced tough choices about their future, which is super relevant to anybody at this age. The episodes emphasize the importance of family, support, the value of friendship, and the courage it takes to embrace change.
I just found the perfect ranch. You're gonna love it.
Thanks a lot, Dad! Yeah! I'm so happy for you! Bon voyage!
Girls. They're so emotional.
But then I guess we're about to learn that Hannah Montana is about to say goodbye multiple times before it fully ends. The production of this episode was a significant undertaking for the cast and crew. Filming emotional scenes required the actors to probably have to tap into genuine feelings, reflecting on the strong bonds that they actually formed on Disney Channel. Like with Miley Cyrus playing Miley Stewart, she had to draw from personal experiences of balancing a dual life with a regular teenager and internal pop sensation. I don't know if you guys remember, but around the time when we weren't sure if Hannah Montana was ending, I remember being like, is Miley going to move on or not? And that's perfect because it's exactly how it was made in the episode. The decision to introduce the ranch setting was influenced by the show's desire to blend Miley's Tennessee roots, which is obvious, and it's a perfect backdrop for this character's growth, and I can't wait to talk more about where she's going from here. Upon its airing, there was so much attention from fans and critics. They praised it for its heartfelt performances and relatable exploration of life's crossroads. The episodes became a huge topic of conversation as we didn't really know if Miley was saying goodbye. As the curtains closed on season 3, Miley Says Goodbye served not just as a farewell to familiar settings, but as a testament to the show's enduring message, embracing one's true self and navigating the dual complexities of life. This finale set the stage for adventures and more revelations that's going to await in the next season, season 4, Hannah Montana Forever. All around, I spent most of this season trying to find hints, glimpses at connecting the movie and the TV show. with only so few details revealed, but it's good to know that there were just some more secrets from the movie I hadn't known about. You can check out my other video, The More Secrets of the Hannah Montana Movie, which might be titled something different, for more on that. They do a good job at wrapping up some of the necessary plot lines that need to be done at the house, although they start to feel a little bit more repetitive toward the last couple. I found myself remembering a lot less of the end of season 3, given the fact that they are almost similar to the earlier episodes. Like, season 3 started out super strong, hit the movie at its peak, and now it's coming down a little bit before it gets revitalized again for Hannah Montana Forever. But it just feels like the end of season 2, where it's like they just keep going with new stories, and it's like, you guys just need a break, and then just... I wish they did 20 episode seasons instead of 30. Like, they could have done a lot more healthier routines about this. Like, they could have seen that these episodes needed to be told in less time. Although, I'm here for it. Some of these jokes are worth an entire episode of just watching just to see again. And I'm super excited to do it, although I'm not sure everybody would be. And I don't want to make a whole video on how we have to skip the filler of Hannah Montana. That's just not going to happen. Now, before we hit that final season, I just want to say this is the best season on television from the best show. They do a good job at covering a lot of growing dynamics, maturity issues, and slightly more serious things than you would ever see Miley and Lily deal with. Like, season 1, Lily and Miley don't need to be worrying about living together, and Lily and Oliver never really dated before or had to worry about each other's feelings until now. Miley's relationship with Oliver gets a lot stronger in the couple episodes about him. There's a couple episodes about Lily. Jackson's featured in literally almost every episode, and he's just such a good breath of fresh air to this show because of all his comedy. And Lily gets a fair amount of episodes herself. Billy Ray really doesn't make a lot of conflict in this season, except for that he could be the one, specifically that one episode. And Miley's manipulative ways seem to take a head at this season. Like, she is still a little bit messy in terms of payback and karma, sometimes seeking out to hurt other people to pay them back, or buckling down when she knows she's wrong just to kind of protect that ego. Like, her situations get a lot more petty, but in a good way. Like, she's growing into a mature person about to hit her senior year of high school way. Like, Hannah Montana is really good at hitting that exact audience that was watching at the time. The prom episode took us on a little adventure, and seeing them at the spa, at the radio station, even on the Sweet Life on Deck's cruise ship. It's a great way to finally see Hannah Montana out at all these new places. And I hope you guys loved watching along with me as much as I did, because, whew, this series just gets better and better. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to check out some of my countdown videos. I really want you guys to like them, so please give it a chance. But I won't make another one if I don't have to. I just really like rating these episodes too. Now that I'm almost on the final video of Hannah Montana, it's about time for me to say goodbye. You could also check out my other retrospectives too. I'm working on finishing up Drake and Josh, Jimmy Neutron, and so many more fun ones to come. Until next time, everybody, have a great day.